Now,
When I travel around the world, yeah, the reality, but change it. That's what we're talking about.
how are you going to change it? You're not going to change
You
it.
pass laws, you do something. You don't say
Okay, give me.
So what about the Italians that are here? Do they not count as Americans? What about the Irish people that are here? Do they not count as Americans?
Why the skin color matters.
There is no American ethnicity.
Are you
When somebody
kidding me?
asks, like, what's your ethnic When somebody asks what your ethnic background is, you don't say, I'm 50% Hispanic, 50% American.
Before I came here, my mom told me not to wear it until we get to the venue, because it is a little scary sometimes.
Were you in a car?
Yeah, but I had to walk from the car to here.
Problem?
Did you do what your mother said?
Yeah, kind of.
Thank you for wearing it. Alpha male.
I just want to say, this is my favorite example of the persecuted white man. Is the guy that is getting driven by his mom to an all-conservative event who's scared to wear his hat in his car.
Yeah, because you're going to get beat up by a leftist.
You think you think it's more common that somebody in a Trump hat is going to get beaten up by a leftist than a black guy shot by a cop?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Are you a nationalist?
Yes.
Are you a nationalist?
That's my platform. White America first.
But how about nationalist?
I'm a white nationalist.
Okay. Well, we can see you white. Are you a nationalist, Will?
I'm an American nationalist. I believe in America first.
You a nationalist?
Yes, America first.
Are you a nationalist?
I'm a nationalist, yeah.
How about you?
Hell no.
I'm Jesse Lee Peterson, and thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. All right. For some reason, I'm not hearing myself out of the speakers. And I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm black. When I said we were starting at 7, I was lying. Cause we black. I really appreciate you guys coming, and ladies. This is August is Men History Month. Did y'all know that? Yeah. August just feels manly. Doesn't feel like a man's month. It's not so hot. It's not so cold. It's at peace. Yeah, man, this is our second year celebrating Men's History Month. I started last year, and July was White History Month. Amazing. And July just feels white. It's vacation time, summertime. The president, the Great White Hope, held a parade in D.C. We haven't seen that in years. It just feels white. So anyway, we're going to have a good time. I really appreciate you coming out for this free speech forum, right? And these are some very interesting guys up here. And we're going to get to everybody and their mama. All right, so be ready. Get ready. On my far left, I have Bentley Ferrero. He's a businessman, actor, and mentor. Brandio, right here, is an incel. He's an incel activist and a YouTuber. And everybody and their mama know Stephen Bonnell II, also known as Destiny. He is a streamer who both plays games and discuss politics. Are you too old to play games yet?
How many times are you going to ask me that, Jesse? I'm only getting older.
Brandio Tatum is a co-founder of Blessed and an ex-police officer right here. And Lord, we have Savage Travis. And Savage is a... Savage, he's blowing up everything already. I haven't said a word. He's a social and political commentator. And just for full disclosure, Savage Travis used to work for me on The Fallen State. He was one of the producer of The Fallen State. And I had to get rid of him. He's a mess. So, but he's a good guy though. Really good guy. Very good guy. And then Will Witt is a Prager University social media influencer. Will. All right, we're going to start on the end down there. You guys heard about the 19-year-old male fatally shot 3 people at a festival? And that guy died from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. And in El Paso, Texas, another young white male went out and killed, he was 21 years old, he killed 22, I believe, and wounded several others. He's in jail right now. And in Dayton, Ohio last weekend, we had another shooting down there. What do you think about the shootings?
These people are in a fallen state, that's for sure. And I think it starts at home, obviously. One of them from, I believe, El Paso, the father was a therapist, something like that. And, the common sense is gone now. I don't see it anymore. And I think it starts at home where it's broken up. If you don't have a strong father, the kids play video games and antisocial and have this anger and hate. Next thing you know, they're killing people. So it's a mess.
So you believe the cause of it is home life?
Home life starts all at home.
What do you say, Brandy, the cause of the mass shootings?
I think that the cause is probably that they feel lost. That they feel like something is wrong in their life, and they might feel that the only solution is to attack people for it. Which I think that we should figure out ways to prevent that kind of mindset from happening. And I find it funny too how I believe that when the first shooting happened, everyone immediately started calling the guy an incel. Like one of the first things I was seeing on
What is an incel, for those who don't know?
Incel means involuntarily celibate. That's basically means someone who wants to have sexual relations with a woman, but they can't for various different reasons, I suppose. Yeah.
So you can't have sex.
Well,
You know you got problems we can't have sex. And these women dying to have sex. Especially your age. So an incel is the person that can't have sex.
yeah.
Amazing. Destiny, what do you think the cause of the mass shooting?
Cause of the mass shooting? I mean, there's a lot of countries with kids that are depressed, that are alienated from their friends and family. There's a lot of countries with people that have mental problems, that play video games, that are on social media a lot. It seems like the United States is the only one where you can get a gun and go out and kill a whole bunch of people with it. So probably point to the guns on that one.
So it's the gun's fault?
Probably.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Isn't that like amazing? You smoke pot?
Me?
Do you smoke pot?
Why? Do you want to smoke after the show?
Brandio, what do you think the cause of the mass shooting?
Well, I think first of all, the cause is not the guns. There's a gun doesn't hurt a person. People who use them hurt other people. So, just like we saw earlier, there was a guy who came out in California, I think in Orange County, and stabbed a whole bunch of people. So, evil is evil, no matter where it's coming from. And if people want to kill somebody, they're gonna find the tool and method to do it. I think that it is a social problem that we're having as it relates to us being in a fallen state, not having our faith in line like we should, and for these young people not being raised properly. And whatever fears or whatever challenges that they have is not being addressed, and I think we can work on that. But I do not think that banning guns and rifles is the answer to the problem.
Why did you stop being a cop?
To pursue what I'm doing now, I think I can make a more of a global impact versus just patrolling the beat in a small section of Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, okay. And Savage Travis, why do you think
Well, first of
the
all,
shooting will cause?
over 50% of mass shootings are perpetrated by black people, so we should just worry about black people before we worry about a few white people.
And what's the cause of the mass shooting lately?
White replacement. If it's not a false flag, white people are going to start acting out like this as long as they're being replaced in their own country.
Amazing. Will, what is the cause of the mass shootings we've been having lately?
I always think about the movie Fight Club, or the book Fight Club, if you read it, where Tyler Durden is talking to everyone and talks about no real purpose, you have no great war, anything like that in men. And that's how so many men are feeling. I actually just wrote an op-ed about this whole topic. And this is exactly how I used to feel, and how so many young men are feeling right now in America. You feel like you have no purpose. There's nothing really going for you. There's not some great cause to get behind. When young men don't have that, they alienate themselves and go after causes that
are not healthy for them. They also have no sense of community, again, no sense of real family values, and along with other things, not having that doesn't make you a mass shooter. When juxtaposed with all the other things happening in America and the craziness of the political divide right now,
Yeah.
you're putting people off the either.
I'm going to sit over here. And is it just all men? Isn't that all men are feeling that way, or just white men?
I think that all men are feeling that way. I mean, when I was going to college, I had black friends, Hispanic friends, Asian friends, who all felt like, there wasn't a whole lot of things that were really going for them. They didn't feel supported by their communities. They didn't feel supported in their universities, no matter what you read. So they were all looking for something that just, frankly, just wasn't there.
As a white, all you guys are millennials, right?
I think I'm a Zoomer technically.
Are you a Zoomer?
Yeah.
How old are you?
22?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're a baby. I want to tell you guys, I was supposed to wear, it's okay to be a man, or Men History Month, but I couldn't find my shirts. So I had to put on the next best thing. No, stop having sex out of wedlock. How many men have stopped having sex out of wedlock?
Quit lying.
And you're not incels, right?
On purpose.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Make sure you stop. Travis, as a white male, do you feel threatened, or how do you feel as a white male?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like the white man is public enemy number one in this country.
And why?
Because if we group up, if we use identity politics, it's over for everybody else, and they don't want us to do that.
And does that make you angry?
I'm not angry, but I'm motivated, so I'm not going to stop building up a white nationalist movement.
Okay. What do you think about white men? Do you think all men are under attack, or just white men?
I think all men are under attack. It's not just white men, but I think white men experience it more now than they have in other points in history.
Right.
I honestly believe, like when I was a police officer, all of my white police friends had it way worse than I had it on the police department. They couldn't go out and do their job like I did because they would be accused of being a racist and all of the above. So I think white men feel it more. A lot of people are under attack in America, period.
I've noticed that white people, men and women, are the most hated species on this side of heaven. Why is that?
I don't know. I think one thing that comes to my mind is the agenda from the left. I think their agenda is to demonize people that they are in fear of. And I think
the right wing does that too, so don't.
Well, I don't know what he's talking about, but what I'm saying from my perspective, and you have your time to talk,
I know.
but it's from the left. It's coming from the left. I mean, think about who's considering the president as a racist. It's people that are coming from the left. And we've seen it too often, and I think that's the only way that they're going to garner power and influence is if they deem the people who have the power and influence as racist.
And you say coming from the right, Travis? And what do you mean?
Just the fact that if a white kid does go shoot up a place, there's actual congressional hearings the next day condemning white nationalism, comparing it to white supremacy, and then conflating that with white terrorism. And if a black person goes in Chicago and shoots up 4 other black people, there's no congressional hearings, so we have to demonize, black people and stuff. It's honestly it's probably the most transparent thing right now that I'm seeing is how much Trump's administration and all the MAGA people are just so blind to the fact that his administration hates white people just as much as the left, or whatever the hell that means.
Definitely. Do you believe that white men are under attack today?
No, absolutely not. It's hilarious. I mean, white people run the banks, white people run Hollywood, white people are in government, white people, you can go any part, any part of society, you can find white people signing the paychecks at the top of any different sector of society that you look. The idea that white people are under attack is hilariously
So is
dumb.
Epstein a white guy? Jeffrey Epstein's a white man?
Okay, so I don't buy into the Jewish, I don't buy into the Jewish conspiracy stuff.
Is he a white man?
I don't buy into the
Yeah, exactly. Whatever.
I don't know how to engage with the white nationalist stuff, but no, the idea that white people in America are under attack is
why is it
privilege, dude.
why is it that white people are accused for everything that happens in the country?
I don't think white people are
Anything that
accused
goes
of
wrong.
everything that are happening. We have a white
Hollywood,
nationalist
what
on
does that
stage
mean?
that says that black people are the people that are destroying the country by displacing white people.
That
No, it's
was
not just black people. It's Mexicans.
Okay,
It's fags.
every non-white
it's
person.
Everybody else. I'm sorry, but it is.
And white
I mean,
people included, right?
Even the
race
narratives,
traders, yes.
even the
Race
difference in the
traders,
narratives we
yes.
try to paint
White
are.
people like you.
We need to go back to him. I
Hold
want
on,
to
one
hear
at a
you.
time. Hold on.
Even the difference in the narratives that are being painted when a white person commits a crime, the first thing you see on the news is what's wrong, was he sick, was it video games, was something like that. If you see an Arab-looking person commit a crime, was it terrorism, was something else going on? Like, I don't think
What
this
do they
idea
say when a
that,
black person commits a crime like that?
that it's usually
They say
gang-related?
a man. They don't even bring up race. Every time.
I'm pretty sure race is in the headlines pretty often, but okay.
Whatever.
So let me ask.
Just like when that Uber driver kidnapped that white woman, it said man kidnaps woman in a Uber, and they never mentioned race at all.
I mean, we can cherry pick headlines all day, but I'm pretty sure everybody in here knows that the gang violence
I think
tends to come from
everybody
black
here
people.
knows that white people don't get a fair shake in the media.
Don't get a fair shake in the media. Every news station you turn on, you're going to see white people all over the TV. What do you mean?
So let me ask this. In Chicago last
Silence
weekend,
has been noted.
can we get the speakers on? I can't hear myself. Do you guys hear out there very well? No. Yeah.
And
We
by
need
the
to
way,
speak
in
on,
a
yeah.
majority white country, I expect to see white people on TV
Okay.
more than other
Let me do
Like
this.
95%
Hey,
of the time.
hey,
Yeah,
hey,
but who owns
hey.
the companies? Who
Calm
owns the
down.
Not white people. I guess it'd be Jews in your
Right.
world,
Excuse
right?
me. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Not in my world. They
Okay.
make sure to,
What's up?
hey, just so you know, Stephen, they make sure to tell me they're not white, they're Jewish, just so you know.
Okay.
I don't tell them that.
So let me ask. In Chicago last weekend, at the same time these other shootings were
Whether
happening,
like 22 murders.
there was
over
a
the
mass
last week.
shooting in Chicago, black on black. It was barely mentioned. Why was that?
I mean, there's differences between when we see gang violence in the United States. There are areas that we expect gang violence to be in.
So
Doesn't
you
make it
expect
good. It
black
doesn't
people
make
to
it-
kill each
doesn't
other?
make it good, but I mean, like it happens in areas. But when you see like, white kids walking out and either shooting up schools or killing their family members or crazy stuff like that, it looks like there's like a new problem, which is probably why it gets more coverage. Much
So-
the same way that there's,
Why is it a new problem? Why is it a new problem?
for a lot of different reasons. We can talk about that. We can talk about capitalism. We can talk about political systems. We can go into all of that. It's not the Jews, though. I know you want
I
to
didn't-
think it's that. But yeah, but I mean, you
So
see, if you have like an attack that happens in Afghanistan and some soldiers die, that's not going to get a lot of press coverage because it's happening.
So are you saying that they expect black people to do a mass killing every weekend, so no big deal, but if a white person should do it, it's a big deal?
Depending on the circumstances.
What do you mean by it's expected when they do it, the black ones?
What do you mean?
You said when there is a mass shooting, there you go. You said that when there is a mass shooting in Chicago and places like that, it's expected.
For gang violence in certain cities, yeah, Baltimore, D.C., Chicago, you're not going to see like headlines for 4 or 5 people get shot or whatever. But if somebody goes and does it in a school or kills their family and then commits suicide, it's more sensational.
But black people they kill people at school, at home, on the job, in the playground, on the bus, at the store, at the gas station, in the hood. And so it doesn't matter.
I didn't say it didn't
I mean,
matter.
not even matter. It
You have
didn't,
to, you
it's
have to understand
expected.
at the end of the day, if you're a news station, it's not a big conspiracy. It's not driven by racial tension. The goal is to make as much money as possible. And if you report gang shootings every single day, nobody's going to watch. But if there's a sensational headline and you know you can get more ads playing because more people are watching, then that's what you're going to report on.
They also accusing the incels that this guy was an incel, and now they're saying the incels have issues. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I find it funny that they called these guys incels, both of them, when, I don't think people know what incel means. I think that the term incel
We
has...
know now.
Well, yeah, you know now, but I think...
They can't get laid.
Yeah, in the media, I think they use the term incel to mean like any men or man that they find to be like sexist or they don't like, or they just use that term broadly. And it's funny because these guys were not incels, but I saw on Twitter, I saw on Facebook, I saw everywhere, tons of comments of people saying, oh, this guy's an incel, this guy's an incel, this guy's an incel. But, they had relationships. They had girlfriends. Some of them had pretty attractive girlfriends. And, they were just crazy guys. Some of them felt like, the El Paso shooter felt like that was his only option. And sadly, that was the outlet he chose because he thought that was his only option. It's pretty unfortunate he thought that was his only option. But,
Have you noticed that white people are under attack?
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And why do you think white people are under attack?
I think white people are under attack probably from an agenda from the Marxist left that has attacked white people over the last 50, 60, 70 years. It's made things progressively worse and harder, especially in left-wing cities. It's made it harder to get a job. It's harder to find a partner. It's harder to do etc.
You say find a partner?
Find a woman.
Oh.
Go and say me on that one.
When I hear that word partner, have you noticed that white people are under attack?
Yes. Look, I grew up in Los Angeles, and back then, this is 83, 84, I was going to school back then. The school teachers, they were already promoting socialism back then. They were already promoting like, oh, you got to be careful with white people. It was a big deal. Now, this is the funny thing. I grew up in LA.
Are you white?
No, I'm not white.
You Hispanic?
Yeah, I'm Hispanic.
You're white Hispanic.
No, I'm Hispanic, but more. I was born. No, I was
You
born
look
and
like
raised.
a white Hispanic.
Orange County, that's why. But growing up here, my family raised me as, hey, you're in America, you speak English. This is America, and I don't care about Spanish and heritage. We're American citizens. We're American. That was it. That's the way I was raised. So I actually used to argue with my school teachers back then all the time because they would try to promote some kind of socialism, and I grew up with an alpha male father. So I used to argue with teachers back then when I was a kid saying, what are you thinking? What's wrong? And I used to say, like, isn't Ronald Reagan the greatest president? I used to say that kind of stuff. The teachers hated me back then for that. So I think this is where it ultimately is. The war is against the alpha male. It starts with that. It's the alpha male. I'm talking about the man with a set of balls who's going to lay down the law and know what's right and wrong and have the character and morals. That's where it starts. And of course, they're going to throw the white guy in there because it's just such a casual thing now. You can go any place, in LA especially, or anywhere where I've been everywhere. There's be like, oh, you got to be careful of the white people. Oh, yeah, the rest, oh, it's just white people. No big deal. I'm not white, but hey, what's fair is fair, and what you see what's going on. And totally, I agree with what's right and what's wrong. So I'm going to stay away from the identity politics. I wasn't raised that way. So again, if someone is going to do something wrong, they're going to take accountability. It doesn't matter what color or what they are. It's taking accountability.
Travis, the president and others are saying that we need a new law for the shooting, and they'll come up with something called red flag laws. What do you think about that?
Trust the plan, guys. 4D chess. I don't like Trump at all. I think he's such a race traitor. It's ridiculous. And I don't. 4 more years, you better love him. 4 more years? Yeah, I mean.
So what do you think about this idea of a red flag?
Reagan 2.0, ready to sign another amnesty. So you're not getting your wall, by the way, just so you know.
What do you think about the red flag laws?
Huh?
What do you think about the red flag laws that they're trying to come
It's
up?
ridiculous.
Do you know about those laws?
It's absolutely ridiculous. There's absolutely no reason to have them.
Will, what do you think about that?
I look at a situation like this after these mass shootings, and I don't even think about the gun policy. To me, that seems so. It's like totally out of the question of what we should even be talking about. You have people on social media, on Twitter, it pisses me off. They go on and they start saying, oh, thoughts and prayers, and then they put their bumper sticker political ideology on top of it, and it's like you're a piece of crap person. Like you are politicizing this whole thing, talking about policy right now after that, and basically just doing it to get retweets. To me, that's sickening to me. Obviously, I don't agree with
Randy, are you a
personally.
retired cop, or what do you think about the red flag law? They think that that's the solution to this problem. What do you think about
Well,
that?
I got two perspectives here. Like in the state of Arizona, where I patrol, they had something implemented similar to the red flag laws, and I honestly
Explain
felt
to
like,
people what is the red flag laws.
well, pretty much what it is. If a person has been deemed a danger to themselves or others by a medical professional, it gives the state the right to take their firearms against their will, and then they can return them once the person has been deemed to be no longer a threat. Now, this is an example of why I thought that it worked in this case, but I don't like the slippery slope of us passing legislation like this, because I believe if a liberal get into place, they're going to take it from here and they're going to run a mile. But I will say the spirit behind it seems to be relatively reasonable. We had a guy in Tucson, Arizona. He was a military veteran. He had extreme PTSD, and he had a bad episode one day, and he thought he was on the battlefield, and he thought he was literally in a war zone. He was low crawling in his backyard with his AR-15. And at any moment, he could have identified somebody as a threat and started killing people. So what we did, we had the SWAT team come out. We took him into custody. He was deemed a danger to himself and others by the medical professionals. We took his firearms, and he had a bunch of them, and he had tens of thousands of rounds of ammo. We took his firearms, and he went on the path to recover. And this is what I would say to anybody who's a responsible gun owner. If you start to lose your mind and you think that you're going crazy, it will be responsible for you to say, at least to a family member, and say, look, hold my guns until I can get better, because I don't want to end up killing somebody or committing a crime that I regret later on. But the gentleman got his stuff together, got his life together, got his job back, and his guns were returned to him. So I see that element, but then I also don't like the slippery slope, because you give a person an inch and they're going to take a mile without guns.
Are you for the red flag law, Destiny?
Yeah.
You are. Why?
Because I mean, people will talk about, like it's not guns that kill people, it's people that kill people. But when you go out on the street patrolling, they don't give you a knife. They don't tell you to, fight with your hands. When we send soldiers over to other countries, they don't give them knives. They don't tell them to fight.
They
with
give
their
us
hands.
AR-15s though.
Sure, they give you
Okay.
rifles. They give you
Because the
guns.
bad guys have them.
Sure.
Okay.
But the point is force projection. This is why you have firearms, right? It's because with a firearm, you can kill more people than you would.
And that's why I have a firearm as a private citizen.
Sure, and criminals have them too.
Yeah, and so when the criminals attack me, I'm going to hit them up. That's it. Over. Especially with my AR-15. I want my AR-15. I don't want a handgun. I want the rifle. So when Antifa come to my door, I got a bullet for all of them. Period. And it's not to be cute about it. It's just keeping it real.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to keep it real, again, like we can point to isolated young men, we can point to mental health problems. In other countries, people can't grab, a 30-round magazine, an AR-15, and go out
And they
kill
can grab
20
acid,
people.
they grab a bomb, they can drive you over, they can run you over in a car.
And so I have a kid. If I'm in a mall and there's a crazy guy in there, I'd much rather him have a vial of acid than an AR-15.
Okay, let's talk about this one. Hold on, let's talk about this one.
Sure.
If you're in a mall and you have the ability to exercise your Second Amendment right and carry a gun, would you rather be in a mall getting caught with your pants down, no gun, with a bad guy with a gun? Which one would you want? A person with a gun and you don't have a gun?
I live in the United States of America. I live in a first world country. I don't want to feel like I need my Glock 17 with me to protect my kid.
It don't matter what you feel.
That is insane.
Now-
When I travel around the world, yeah, the reality, but change it. That's what we're talking about.
How you gonna change it? You're not gonna change
You
it.
pass laws, you do something. You don't say
Okay,
you're making excuses.
let me give you an example of laws. Let me give you an example. Is it against the law to murder somebody? Is it against the law to possess a firearm and you're a felon? Who does that stop? It only gives you the opportunity to charge them after you caught them.
So-
it's not going to stop people from committing those crimes.
If laws don't stop people from committing crimes, then why not have any laws?
Well, listen,
why not just
because-
get rid of every law? Well, because if you're going to
Then you won't be able to charge them when you catch them.
So the only reason we have any laws
Okay, think about
whatsoever
this.
so that you can
What law stopped
No, I don't need to think about it.
What law stopped the El Paso shooting?
When I travel around the world, okay, and I have to tell my European friends that kids in America are buying Kevlar inserts for their backpacks so that they can go to school, that's
Because they refuse to put law enforcement at the school. If you put a cop in the
when
school, it's
you go
over.
to Sweden, they don't need armed
It
guards
doesn't
in the
matter.
school. When you go to
It doesn't
France,
matter.
they don't need
Okay.
armed guards in the school.
And
When you go to Norway, they don't need armed guards in the school. Why does America need people with guns to protect our kids?
Hold on.
Because it's the way it is.
Hold on, guys.
Well, why don't we make it a little bit different?
You're not going to change it.
Isn't that
You're
the
not going
point?
to change it.
You're not
gonna
gonna
change
change
it.
anything.
There's 300 million
Why-
guns in the
why-
country. You're not going to change
Why
it.
do
Yes,
we
sir.
even have these discussions then if we don't think we can change anything?
Hold
in our
on, guys.
country?
Hold on one moment. We need to move. You had your hand, yes.
Yeah, all I can say is this shouldn't even be. See, the thing is, if you're even going to debate that topic, you're giving in the first place. I don't debate gun rights because they're not on the table at all. Also,
What do you mean not on the table? Can you
that
clarify
means
that?
if he's going to sit there and try to tell me why they should take their, I'm not even going to talk to him because he's literally just disappeared to me, and so the point I'm getting at is the only reason why we're even having this conversation is because we don't have a ethno state like what you mentioned, and so what happens is when you have this many different ethnic cultures fighting for the bloated federal government and trying to use it against each other, this is just what's going to happen. And then next thing you know, the gun rights issue is going to be on the table. So that's why I'm a white nationalist, because I really want an overwhelming white majority so we never have to worry about this crap ever again.
So let me explain to me this. Riddle me this. Because of the color of somebody's skin, the
Yes.
pigmentation of their skin, that determines the outcome of their
Not
ideology.
every time, but people do act demographically as a group, all right? And white people seem to be the only race other than Chinese, or I'm going to just say, let's say white people seem to be the only people in North America who don't really vote depending on their race. The other cultures do. That's a problem. That's an assault against my culture. I don't like it, and I'll do everything I can to stop it. Which means, if I have to, deporting every last person that came here since 1965, and I really mean that.
So
I
let me
really
ask
mean that. If I ever got power, all of you who came here
Yes,
after
sir.
1965 are gone.
Yes.
I think
You never
what we need is less government as the nanny and
That's
more
not true.
accountability. That's
Right.
what we need. That's because we're relying on government tools. Everything's government this, government that.
So let me ask Destiny this question. I've noticed that the government doesn't keep the law themselves. They break the laws and they get away with it over and over again. Why do you think that they're going to respect this particular law? Because they don't
What do you
seem
mean
to
by the
respect.
government breaks the law over and over again?
Like our federal government, look at the Democrats, right, or Republicans, they'll break the laws up and down.
Like they're going out and shooting
For
people?
example, the attack on the Great White Hope. The attack on the Great White Hope, right? The Russian collusion
Jesse,
thing.
Trump isn't the
And
Great
then
White
they
Hope.
found
You gotta
out
stop.
that none of that was true. So all the people who set that up are going free. They're not going to prison.
Wait, why would? I'm not even sure where to start with this. If there was an investigation, everybody behind an investigation goes to prison if they end up fighting them?
But they're not even investigating the Democrats, it seems.
Okay.
Shouldn't they go to jail?
I mean, as somebody that went through the Miller report, I think there was a lot of an investigation there. I don't know
Should
what
the
you mean. I don't know
Democrats
if anybody
go
said
to
there was
jail?
No investigation.
Should
No,
they
you don't
go to jail?
for doing an investigation. That's insane.
But they should go to jail if it's falsely set up and falsely accusation, right? False accusation.
I don't think it was falsely set up. I mean, all the documents are there. You can read them
Where's the
yourself.
proof?
What?
Where's your proof that it wasn't false?
Everything that was published about it. What do you mean?
Amazing.
Or you can take
So-
the opposite position and assume that the government and all the media and everybody is lying, in which case, I don't know. Do you look to YouTubers then for your source of truth?
Yeah, I don't believe anything they say.
Do you go on a
I don't believe
Apple Stone
anything
to
they
try to find
say.
out what's really happening?
So I want to ask, yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm blown away by him just so many times. I don't get it.
But those are your people.
Wait, to be fair, whoa, hold on. Wait, if he gets to be Hispanic, I'm half Cuban. Hold on.
Are you Irish?
No.
Okay. That Bonnell was Irish.
Yeah. Don't try to trade him now. Don't try to trade him. Can't
I
draft
go
him
with
now.
an audience like this. If I walk away the most hated person with a white nationalist on stage, I know there's something really wrong with the conservative party in this country. Okay?
Oh, there is
Something
something
really
really wrong with the Conservative Party. They don't conserve anything.
Yeah, but he wants to keep his guns to probably kill a lot of people in his audience.
Who? Me?
No.
Which?
I'll tell you what, the only time I would use guns to kill people is if somebody tries to cross that border illegally, man, woman, child, bam.
Sure.
Don't
But I
care.
mean, people like the New Zealand shooter. People like the New Zealand
Let me do
shooter
this.
said the exact same
All right.
thing, that every single immigrant into their country was a foreign invader.
But guess what? If the government authorizes our border patrol to do that, it's legal. And I don't have any blood on my hands, so I don't care. And the point is see, let me tell you a little story. When I was growing up, we had a neighbor who liked to feed the cats, right? And my dad, he got clever. He's like, I got an idea. If I start shooting them with BB guns, they'll go away. And sure enough, it doesn't matter how much food the neighbor put out, cats never came back. Illegal Mexicans and cats are a lot alike.
Where?
Do you think, and I'm curious, I'm actually, wait,
So-
I'm actually really curious. If you knew that there is a Hispanic family, if they legally immigrated here,
So Will,
if
hold
they
on,
legally
hold on.
immigrated
What
here,
year? After what year?
Hey.
2005, say they came in 2005.
See ya.
Wait, do you think
Gone.
you could shoot them?
Do I shoot them?
Do you think you could?
No, I
In the
put
street?
them on a bus and I give
Will.
them $10,000 in their
Hold
pocket.
on.
I give them 10 grand in their pocket. I call up Mexico. I go, I got a fresh immigrant here with $10,000 in his pocket. You want him? Boom. See
And what do you do when they say
Trevor,
no?
hold on,
You
guys,
shoot 'em
hold
then?
on.
I throw them in the ocean
Will,
'cause I don't give
what
a
do you
shit
think
about
about
them.
what
You
you're
shoot 'em,
hearing
okay.
right now?
No, I put them on a boat.
Hold on a
I'll give
minute,
them a boat.
Travis.
That's all
Travis.
we can have. A
Cool it.
crappy little rowboat.
Stop
So you can go
yelling.
all the way down the
What do you
coast.
think about what you're hearing, Will?
I think illegal immigration is a huge problem, and we have a lot of people who are here illegally taking advantage of government systems. And
We weren't talking about illegal immigration.
Yeah,
Why do you
Hold on a
think
minute.
that?
Hold on, I
Illegal
want to
is
hear
just
from
as
Will.
bad
Hold on,
as
guys.
illegal.
Hold on. Go ahead, Will.
well, so actually, I did a video the other day talking to people about slavery reparations. I know a girl, I'm talking to her, and she comes up to me, and she's like, "Well, you look like an American to me. You don't deserve reparations." And I was like, "That black person over there looks like an American to me too. Like, what are you talking about?" Right? Being American is not about a race. It's about your values. and
lies.
There are no lies.
Being American, no.
Values.
No,
I want to hear this.
No,
Come on.
No. I will not let you do that. You are working for Prager right now. That's Prager University coming out of him.
He's working for the white man. Go
It's the
ahead.
American dream. That's
Jewish
everyone
man.
should be able to have the
Go
right to do
ahead.
that.
Go ahead.
Prager is the furthest thing from a white man.
Hold on, guys.
I'm talking about that guy's the white
America
man.
is
Hold
not
on.
an idea.
One
all
moment.
right? It's not an idea. You can't just come here, move here, and become American. That's not how it works. My family has heritage here.
If
That
America
matters.
is not an idea, what is it?
No, they didn't. They came from some European country. What do you mean?
My family was part of the settlers who founded this nation.
So they came
Do
from
you-
somewhere
Do you
else.
understand how nations work?
Sure.
Okay, so if someone
So-
comes here and starts a new nation, does that Does that mean they're still part of the old nation?
I mean, it depends on what the
No,
laws
and then
of the
if those
nations
people
are.
have babies for hundreds of years and I'm a byproduct of those, is this now my nation?
So what about the Italians that are here? Do they not count as
Let me
Americans? What about the
explain-
Irish people that are here? Do
Let
they
me
not count as
explain why
Americans?
the skin color matters. Let me explain exactly why the skin color matters. Because people do vote in demographics, like I said, all right? And I'm just trying to be the person who can actually get things to move through our government, but we have too many cultures fighting for it, man. And you keep sitting here, and all these people keep saying America's an idea. Like literally, you are going to get white people so angry with that stuff. When the retribution comes, you will regret it. You will absolutely regret it.
Y'all need to watch him on the red flag. I'm just kidding. But this is,
Hey, it's a free speech
hold on, time
platform.
out.
Hold on, guys. Hey,
Obviously, I'm kidding. I don't have any legislative power. But anyway,
I want to ask you about that, the red flag situation. Let's say that you don't like what he is saying, right? He's saying he just totally disagrees, and you don't like it.
Political
If this
opinion.
so-called red flag thing,
nothing to
let me
do
just ask him,
Right.
if this red flag thing come into operation, you and Savage out having lunch at Starbucks, he paid for it, he ordered it before you got there, and he put poison in it. You don't know it, but you guys having lunch.
What's he going at?
And he disagrees. He says what he says now. Can't you call up the cops or somebody and say, "Hey, my friend is kind of off. I
don't think
think
we're
he." And wouldn't they take your word for it and come and take his
no,
gun?
they can't do that. They can't do. You have to be deemed a danger to
But who
the public
deemed-
by a medical professional. Now here, let me say,
who-
let me.
Red flag law incorrectly.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me
Hold on,
define.
guys.
Hold on.
Hey, hold on.
You will have your
Coming
time
to
to
you.
talk. Let me say this.
So who has
I
to
do
be-
not agree that we should implement red flag laws.
Right.
I'm just giving an explanation of how it was applied in
But
the state of Arizona.
who would deem
It's,
that?
it's supposed to be a medical professional that take you through
But
an
suppose they're a
evaluation.
medical professional that disagree with your politics.
But it has to be. Let me just explain the way it worked in Arizona. I don't know what other people do or whatever how it's applied in other senses, and I don't know how they're going to apply it federally. They may pull from other states, but how it was applied in Arizona was that you go before a medical professional, and what they do is evaluate you. It has logs and everything else that they need to have a standardized medical evaluation,
Well, you
and then
can't
you go
trust
to
that.
court. You have to go to court, and then you have a chance to defend yourself. And all of the above. That's how it was applied in the state of Arizona.
Yes.
Who do you think the courts and the medical professionals?
Hold on, guys. I'm gonna get to everybody. Hold on.
Most
Yes.
of the time. Like,
So-
who do you think that the courts and the medical professionals are going to align with politically most of the time? They're going to be mostly
You
left
can't.
wing most of the
Well,
How
let
do you
me-
know that the APA defined conservative as a reason not to own a gun? Does this actually happen? Do you think you go in and you tell the guy, like, I voted for Trump? Oh, well, I'm going to write here that you're a
Yeah, it's-
Republican on your forms. You don't get a gun.
Let's be honest. It's not likely. Let me say this is not likely that a medical professional will do that. What I'm saying is that I don't want it to go down a slippery
But
slope.
I've heard of so many cases where they have done that to people that they disagree with politically. They'll just lie and say, "Oh, this person's insane."
The cases
And it's
that I've
not
dealt
true,
with,
but
it
because
didn't.
because angry people have no control.
What I'm saying is that the cases that I've dealt with personally, like I said, I'm not advocating for. I'm just giving an example of how it was applied. It was a very concrete thing. Like the guy with low crawl in his back.
Right, but that's just
There's
one
people who
particular
are.
situation.
I'm saying that all the ones that I've been to in court hearings, that is somebody who's explicitly expressing a mental disability. They have been proven to have a mental disability. They're acting out on that mental disability. They're either inpatient, outpatient treatment. Like it's a lot that goes along with it. But what I'm saying is that I don't advocate for it. I'm just saying how it has been applied, and I think some of which has been effective in the state of Arizona. I mean, if a person is having a mental crisis to the point where they're going to shoot and kill a whole bunch of people, I mean, what do we do about it? And I'm not for
go to the root of the
putting
problem.
legislation. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I don't agree with any red flag law, period.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
don't
we need
either.
any red flag law, because guess what happens? You know, they don't do it anymore as much, but back in the days, guys would have locker room talk, and now that's considered something bad. So just imagine
Right.
we had those
Yeah.
laws with locker room talk, guys would be getting arrested because they'd be saying, oh, he's going to rape the girl and everything. So
Yeah.
I don't believe in the government should do any, the government needs to get out. Yeah.
So let me ask this: how do you feel about the way the president is handling this, Will?
I feel like he's pissing a lot of people off.
And why?
Well, because he's going against a lot of his base. So his base has been people who would not support this. They supported the wall and all the other things that he's talked about. This is something.
Oh, the wall going up.
Oh yeah, it's already
The
going.
wall going up.
The wall's not going up.
Oh, the wall going
No,
up.
it's not.
Oh my God, we agree on something.
You know, really quick, on the,
2020, here we
on the
come.
defense.
But are you happy with the way
Years, the wall's not going
Are
up.
you
that's
happy
true.
with the way he's dealing with
Steven's
it?
right on that.
I'm happy that he's like at least trying to like communicate with his constituents and the people who voted for him, and not just basically only align with his base because he's too scared to say something that he actually believes. When you see a politician actually try and have a backbone at all, maybe you guys don't really think this, but like actually say what he believes instead of just like bowing to crony capitalism or any people paying him off. I think that's always a good thing to say.
But ever since he made that statement, he's been attacked more as a white supremacist.
Yeah.
They didn't let up. They really went in on him. Why would he agree with his enemies?
I think he's a Jew supremacist, not a white supremacist.
Why would he agree with his enemies?
They're going to attack him anyway. So, I mean, he gets 97%. The media coverage that he gets, 97% of it is negative media coverage. So the people are going to attack him anyway. So I think right now Trump in no way at all cares about what anyone says about him.
That's clear.
I think, look, Trump, if you guys ever read The Art of the Deal, this is all part of it right here. He's a
It's
smart
4D
boss.
chess,
He's always
guys.
2 steps
Yeah,
ahead.
that's what I'm thinking too.
So
Trust the
look,
plan.
Trump baits a lot of people
Yeah.
up. He'll say certain words, keep it right there, and then later on come back and something with the left with him. Well,
I
remember,
agree.
I offered this to you. Okay, you don't want it. Just like the DACA, he's all, we're going to open up. We'll try. He already knew they weren't going to go for the DACA, so that's why now he's going to come back out here and say, hey, you didn't want it. We're going, full speed ahead the other way. So that's what I think.
Are you with the Q? Are you with the Q thing? Are you down with the Q thing?
What's the Q thing?
What's that?
The
QAnon.
QAnon or whatever.
What's that?
Oh, you don't want to know about QAnon.
I don't even know. No.
Just for talking about it.
You just
So let
sound
me
like
ask.
one, that's
I've
all.
been hearing a lot of so-called white supremacist things going around, especially at the president, right? And they were saying that he is encouraging white supremacists. Do you believe in such thing as white supremacists?
No, I think it all starts at home with accountability.
You don't
it
think
doesn't
it
matter.
exists?
No, I don't think so at all. Where's it at right now? Where's
It's
the proof?
right
I
here
don't
on
see
stage
it.
with you. What are you talking about?
Oh my God! Where is? Okay, we had like ISIS. Everyone knows who ISIS was. Everyone knows who Black Lives Matter was, and okay, KKK. But where's the guy on TV saying we're the white nationalists and we're gonna get? I don't see that anywhere.
What about when the president is on TV telling 3 people who were born in America to go back to the countries they came from because they were brown or black?
Well, because
What
those
about
people
that
hate
guy?
this country. That's why.
You said when you want to make a country better, that means you hate it?
Amazing.
Those people hate
Brady,
this country. That's the slide.
Why doesn't it matter even if you did
Brady,
see it? How can
do you
tell us to
believe
go
in
back
white
to a country when they were
supremacists?
born there?
Hold on, guys.
Why
I'm
are
coming to
millions
you.
of brown people moving to a white supremacist country?
Because they're white supremacists.
There you go.
Brady,
Yeah.
do you believe in white
I'll have
supremacists?
Like, do I think they're real?
Yeah.
I never said. By the way, I never
Hold
said
on.
black Mexican people can't be in my movement. They won't lead my movement. That's all.
Okay. Do you believe in white supremacists?
White supremacists are real, but I think most people.
Are they louder for you?
I think most people who identify with white people identify as white nationalists, not as white supremacists.
Do
There's
you
a big
think white
difference in that.
supremacists exist?
They exist, sure, but
Have
they're
you
not
ever
the
seen
majority.
one?
Not in person, no.
Do you know one? Heard of one?
I know one online, maybe. Is that bad optics? Probably.
What is a white supremacist?
Someone who believes that white people are superior to every other race.
Which I don't.
Someone who
I don't
believes that
know.
white
The
people are
Chinese are a lot more
superior
effective than
to
white
every
people.
other race, right?
What?
You said someone who believes that white people are superior to all other races.
Yes.
And so
There are people-
Louis
there are like black
Farrakhan-
supremacists,
Have you
Jewish
ever heard of
supremacists.
Louis Farrakhan?
Yes.
Louis Farrakhan believed that black people are superior to all other races, right? Is he a white supremacist?
Black people are superior?
Yeah.
No, he's a black supremacist.
He's a black one?
Yeah.
How do you know the difference?
Because he believes specifically that black people are superior to everyone else, and not white people.
So there's some drug laws believe that Mexicans are superior. Are they white supremacists?
No, they're Mexican supremacists.
Have you ever met a white supremacist?
Yeah, of course. I argue with them all the time.
You hang with them?
No, I don't hang with them, but I talk to them online. You can find them if you look for them.
You'd be a lot cooler if you did.
And so, how do you know that they are white supremacists?
White supremacists usually believe that white people, by virtue of their genetics, are superior to other groups of people.
So is Louis Farrakhan a white supremacist?
I guess he'd be a black supremacist.
Are there Mexican supremacists too?
Probably. I imagine there's supremacists.
Have you
for
ever
every race.
seen a Mexican one?
I don't talk to many. I'm not sure.
You don't like Mexicans?
I don't talk to many Mexican supremacists. I don't know. Maybe they're a big part of the Mexican community, and I just missed them, Jesse.
Would you date a Mexican girl?
Yeah.
Have you dated a Mexican girl?
Yeah.
Have you dated a black girl?
Not yet.
That's a good
Racist.
save right there.
No.
Not yet.
Have you ever seen a white supremacist?
I think this guy's a white supremacist.
What is a white supremacist?
A person who thinks that white people are superior.
Do you love white supremacists?
I never said superior. That's so funny.
Do you
I just
love
think
white?
you believe that.
Do you love
Do I
white
love what?
supremacists?
No, well, let me say this. I don't agree with their ideology. I love everybody. I don't agree with their ideology.
So if a white person is a nationalist, does that make them a supremacist?
No, I think it's different. White nationalists and supremacists are slightly different.
So he said that he is a white nationalist.
but some of the things
Does
they
that make
said,
him a, wait a minute.
Okay.
Does that make him a white supremacist because he's a nationalist?
not necessarily.
So why do you think that he is?
Because some of the stuff he says sound like he believes that the white race is superior to everybody.
Never said superior.
He
The things that
never
you're
said
saying,
We're different. That's all.
but you think that white is better.
No, I think that.
That's why you think that
I
the
think
majority
on
of America should be
on
white.
an individual level, you can judge everybody individually. On a group level, you have to start judging people based on their group.
You can't do both.
Yes,
So let me ask,
I don't agree.
because I really want to understand this.
agree.
Is
Ask
it because you guys disagree on things that you would label him a white supremacist?
No, I'm just saying the things that he said lead me to believe that he believed white people are superior.
Can I clarify?
But why can't it make you know that he is a real nationalist? He put his country first.
If he say that and he articulate nationalist ideas of, I'm saying some of the things he said leads me to believe that. But if he said it, then that's
But
fine.
some people don't articulate
I'm
well.
better for the black community, the Mexican community, and Chinese. I'm better for all of them. You know why? Because I'll tell you why. Because I'm not trying
Tell me more.
I'm not trying to push for a total mixture of every freaking nation on the planet where, everybody can just go anywhere and you can just become a citizen. I actually want to protect the cultures. That's why I'm not a white supremacist.
No.
I want China to stay China. I want Japan to stay Japan. I want America to stay white. That's not a big deal.
How is America being white? America is not white. America is the
because
ideal.
The moment we started importing millions of people
It
after
doesn't- listen,
1965, that's
it's
when you
called-
get. Let me explain. That's just when you get all this
All right,
conflict,
time out.
and nobody can agree
Hey,
on anything because
It's
everybody's
called a lack of
calling each other
assimilation.
racist.
That's all it is.
Hold
A
on
lack
one
of
minute,
No,
guys.
it's
assimilation.
not.
Hold
No,
on
it's
one
not
minute.
because these
Hold on,
people probably
Travis,
assimilated and they
Travis.
probably still think
Travis.
America is an idea.
It is an idea.
No, it's not. Sorry. It's a
quiet,
heritage,
guys.
it's a people, it's a
Travis,
place.
Travis.
It's an actual physical thing.
Hold on a minute.
It's not an idea.
Hold on.
By definition,
We need to
not.
stop for 2 minutes. They need
Oh,
to
wait,
change,
real
They
quick.
need to change the battery. They can't hear you.
Are we we still live?
I want to know what the new white nationalist is.
Are you
He's launching something.
are you a nationalist?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
You're a Christian nationalist. Oh. Okay, we're back.
Can I ask him that question?
Yes.
It's quick.
Yes.
All right, everybody, quiet down. All right. So,
All right, everybody, quiet down.
hey, thanks a lot, Joel.
This is Esteban.
Good. It's good to see you, man. Real quick question: If we were to take 2 million Mexican, that's an arbitrary number, 2 million Mexican parents, and we just transported them over to China, right? And then they had a bunch of babies. Would you consider their babies Chinese?
I wouldn't consider that.
So why does it apply to America?
I don't think we should do that in America. That
So
sounds
why
like
do you keep
anchor
calling
bait.
it an idea that anybody can have?
This is what I'm saying. This is fundamentally what I'm saying. Anyone can come here, and if they adhere to the Constitution and the things that we believe in, we can all grow and work together.
So
I don't understand why that's different.
Ilhan Omar came here and applied, and she did all that.
Right.
And she's it's only a
She
matter
don't
of time.
adopt.
Let me put
Okay,
it this
go
way:
ahead.
it's only a matter of time before Congress is all brown women, and people like me, we get the axe when that happens. So I'm not trying to let that happen at all. Sorry.
Listen,
No, I got.
There's a difference. Why wouldn't Mexicans that go over to China and make babies be considered Chinese? Because Chinese is also an ethnicity. There is no American ethnicity.
Are you
When
kidding
somebody
me?
asks, like,
Are
what's
you
your
kidding
ethnic
me?
what? When somebody asks what your ethnic background is, you don't say I'm 50% Hispanic, 50% American. They say, well, no, where are you really from?
So
What
how
European ethnicity?
how much of the country was white up until 1965?
How much of the country was white before the year 1700? I mean, we could draw like a line at any point you want to.
It does.
But I mean, like,
Literally only goes to America when it
This is the
doesn't
greatest.
matter. Like,
This is the greatest country on
So
earth.
stupid.
But unfortunately, people are just taking advantage of the system, and
That's
that's,
it.
the
That's
bottom
simple.
line. They're just juicing.
why
it.
are they taking
How do you think we've grown? How do you think we've grown? How do you think we can
let me-
participate in an event like this? It's because it's an idea. If people share the idea, we can grow together. If people don't, then we have conflict. Ilhan Omar don't love the country. That's why we have a conflict.
Yeah, but
So
I'm
let me
telling
ask
you that
this.
you're
I
getting
got a
to the point
very
where
important
white
question.
people
Hold on,
aren't
I want to
gonna
ask
even bother
Brendan.
talking
Not all
about
white people.
Let me
Not
ask
all white
this.
people adhere to the Constitution and the ideas of America.
it. They don't have to.
So
Let
what
me
is
ask
their
this question.
country?
If it's their country,
I want to ask, I think I asked Destiny first. I've noticed that white people are being accused of being racist and supremacists and all that crap. And yet, when there's a discussion about it, white people are being left out of the discussion. It's like everybody else is talking about the white folks, and they're not part of the discussion to defend themselves. Is that right?
White people are part of the discussion all the time. Look
No,
at Congress.
not the white-
What do you
so-called
mean?
white
White
supremacy.
people are in charge of writing the laws.
No, I'm
white
talking
people
about
decide
the
what
ones
goes
who
on
are
the news
called,
stations.
the
what-
ones who are called white supremacists. They are not a part of the discussion.
Of
Is
course
it
they're part
right
of the
to keep
discussion.
them
They've got
out of
YouTube
this?
channels. They've got Twitter channels. They're all over the media. What do you mean?
So you think that they are?
YouTube, Facebook, Gab, Twitter, all of it, man.
How do you get banned from Gab? You must be saying some real crazy stuff. And you actually got banned from Gab.
Just the truth.
If somebody like Nicholas Fuentes can get verified on Twitter and you're getting banned from the place that racist people go after they get banned from Twitter, that's on you, man. I don't know.
You have to be bad.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about
Trust me.
Are you a
censorship.
That's what
nationalist?
happens when you
I'm an
speak
American
truth, they
nationalist. I
target
believe in America first.
You a nationalist?
Yes, America first.
Are you a nationalist? I'm sorry. You're not sure?
No, I'm sure. I mean, I probably align with him more on basically everything.
you. You gotta get in shape, man.
With
We'll
who?
take back the country, man.
With Travis? Are you a nationalist?
I'm a nationalist. Yeah.
How about you?
Hell no.
You're not a nationalist?
No.
You don't put your country first?
No, I put my friends and my family first.
Well, why not your country?
Why would I put my country first?
Why not?
Why not? Because my country is never going to come before my family, ever.
So if
That'll
it
never
wasn't
happen.
for the country, would your family be here?
Maybe. I mean, it depends. I don't know.
You-
I might be living in another country. If
You-
my country decides that they want to send people to war and my kid is 19, I'm leaving the country. I'm not going to send my kid to go die in some foreign soil.
Amazing. Are you a nationalist?
Yes.
Are you? Well, we know you are.
I'm a white America first person.
Are you a
That's
nationalist?
my platform. White America first.
But how about
I'm
nationalist?
a white nationalist.
Okay. Well, we can see you white. Are you a nationalist, Will?
Definitely.
And why is it such a negative word when white people say that they are?
Because they've equated it with racism.
Who have?
The left.
Oh.
The left.
So has the right. So has the right. They literally just had congressional hearings condemning it. All the
These right about
Republicans.
that,
There are bad people on the right too.
There's
Yeah.
every person on the right is basically bad. If
I
you're
wanna
a standard, typical Republican, you're bad. You're not my ally. That's
So, Will, I got to ask you this, and then I'll go around. I noticed that the white Republicans are called racist and all those negative things. I grew up in Alabama on a plantation, and it was the Democratic Party that was racist toward the blacks. They had the Jim Crow law by that George Wallace
old
guy,
days.
and most black people were Republicans. As a matter of fact, the Republican Party was started by blacks and whites because the Democrats wouldn't allow them in. How did the Republican Party accept the title racist when it's really the Democrats who are the racists? Why did they accept that?
Well, they flipped the whole narrative.
But why did they
Once the
accept it,
left-
though?
Once the left started promising things to people, it's just like any politician. You go like anywhere like here in California, and they start promising you we're going to continue to raise the minimum wage, raise the minimum wage. It's very hard to go and then say we're not going to raise the minimum wage anymore. How do you win an election if you're not promising something? So the left have been people who are going to promise something in these communities, and so African Americans have taken upon that.
Didn't you get promised a wall?
Hold on, just let me
saying.
finish that. Hold on.
Yeah, and again, like exactly what you're saying. But if I didn't get a wall, I wouldn't really respect Trump nearly as much, and I probably wouldn't vote for him again because that's something that was a strong.
Are you
The
serious?
wall going up.
Right, I think it will.
Oh,
I'm
the
saying,
wall
like,
going up.
Yes, but I'm
We
saying
have a
like in
t-shirt that
his
says
thing,
wall
like I wouldn't.
The wall going up. But let me, so are you saying that the voters start to believe the Democrats because the Democrats
I would
offer
have that
them,
wall up day one. by
because the
way.
Democrats offer them free stuff?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Oh, I see.
Definitely. It's just the same. It's the same with young people at American universities today, where they hear free things. They live some entitled suburban life. They go to college. They think they're an adult now, and they get promised free stuff from their professors who were hippies back in the '70s, and now they think that they're CNN panelists and talk all about how great socialism and communism is.
Yeah, that's a good point. I
Free
gotta
stuff
ask
that the
Destiny.
Republicans are in favor of. It's the huge tax cuts, the 1.5 trillion or whatever, and tax
It's
cuts.
called
that Trump
money
gave.
that we already have that they're stealing from us. Okay, giving us our money back is not.
They didn't give you your money back. They gave the guy that owns the business or owns the business that hires
You did my
you to
taxes
give
this
you
year. You did my taxes this year. I know
However
you
much
didn't.
money
Okay.
you saved, it was way less than the guy that pays the
So
guy that
that's-
pays
So
the guy
you
that
tell
pays
us.
you.
So you saying that I don't own a business?
I'm saying.
Okay, that's what I'm
it's
talking. All right,
possible.
all right.
You might
No,
make $1 million
no,
a year.
no, no,
You might
no,
clear 7
no,
figures
you
a year.
don't-
I don't think so.
Hey,
but-
liberal, don't clear it up now. Don't let.
But hey, listen.
Don't let your
if
ideologies
Trump,
come out
if
now.
Trump, if Trump helped
I own a business.
that's great if you own
And
a
thank you
business.
for the 2 business. And thank you for the tax cuts, Trump.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I think
That's just talking points, man. That's talking
No,
points.
it's not. No, what this is called.
less government is
If you
better.
own
That's
2 or
for
3
sure. Less
businesses,
government
you're
is
making
better.
A good
No,
six-figure
we don't need
income.
the government.
If you're making a good six-figure
Jesse, I
income,
gotta
you
ask
don't
you a
need the
question.
tax cuts. You're fine.
I don't?
No, you're fine.
How you think how you think I start the second business?
You need all that money back in order to do
because I
it.
want to start business. I want to employ people.
Okay.
So what's wrong with that?
Destiny.
I
Why can't I use
instead
my
of giving,
profit?
instead of
Hold on,
giving
guys,
people
hold on.
money to
Hey,
start a
hold
second
on.
business, I
Jesse,
think it'd be cool if
Jesse,
you had money to
they
pay for
employ
them.
people.
But you know that they employ people. When Trump gave that money back,
Do you
he
work
didn't
for
go to
some? Do you work
employ
for
people.
somebody?
No, I own my own business too.
But why you tripping?
I know that I don't need the money that I make.
Are you going to hire people?
No, maybe I won't. It depends.
Okay.
If there's a demand for it. If people,
You don't
if
wanna
people are
hire
buying-
people.
if
I
people
wanna
are
hire
buying-
people.
You're not going to hire
Hey.
anybody unless there's somebody to buy your product.
I'm
That's how
surprised
business
this
works.
People buy my products.
And they don't have any money
Censorship.
because all of
Hey,
it's
no,
going to
some
the people
people
that run the
feisty.
businesses. You
Yeah,
can
you're
laugh
the
all you
liberal.
want, but you can look it up. When Trump gave all
Jesse.
that money back to the
Hey,
big corporation,
hey.
yeah. I was having a conversation. What's up?
I was in a safe space. Don't
So
worry
let
about
me ask this. Are you a Democrat?
Me? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You're a
it.
Democrat?
Yes, he is.
What does it feel like I said earlier, the Democrats hated the black people. They didn't want them in the party. They discriminated against them. They offered them free stuff. They hate black people even today because they offer them reparations and affirmative action and all that. Robert Byrd was loved. And he recruited, he was a member of the KKK, right? And he recruited for them. And he was a Democrat when he died. What does it feel like to be a member of a racist party?
I don't think you would define political parties today by their existence.
No,
60
I'm asking
years
you,
ago.
what does it feel
I don't
like
think
to...
the Democratic
No,
Party is a
no, that's
racist
not my
party,
question.
Jesse.
I'm
When
asking
you
you.
look at the people that go to
No,
the
I'm
voter
asking you.
suppression, that go to the gerrymandering, they
No,
engage in the...
that's not what I'm asking.
Democrats are
I don't know what no gerrymandering is.
Yeah, I know you don't, Jesse. It's okay.
And I don't have Joel here to help me. So, how do you feel being a member of a racist party?
I don't know. I'm not a Republican.
No, the Democrats. The Democratic Party. See, I know better because I know about all that stuff,
The
right?
Republican Party is a racist.
What does
Never-
it feel
Jesse,
like?
You never in your life, if you go to
hate white
if you go to any country or if you're in America and you say, what does a political party believe in? You don't say, well, in 1960 they did this. You look at
But
the
they're
type of
worse today
legislation
than
that they're
ever
passing
before.
today. What?
Do you support reparations?
I don't know. I'm on the wall.
Do you support reparations?
What?
You support reparation for black people?
Maybe. I don't know.
As long as it
I'm
comes
I'm
with
undecided on it.
repatriation,
I don't feel strongly
I
about
would do
it.
it. I would do it.
Well,
If
he
it-
only,
support
wants, he only wants
reparations?
to give black people money because he wants to give enough money to go back to
Sending
Africa.
them
So,
back to
yeah, that's the
Absolutely.
difference.
Absolutely.
When he says reparations, he means a ticket on a boat
I
or a
mean
plane.
reparations with repatriation. I'll give him 50
So let
grand.
me
I
do
don't
this.
care. Get
You
out of
support
here.
reparations?
No.
And why not?
Because they're not slaves anymore. I don't know. I'm not a slave owner, and they're not slaves, and they haven't suffered from it. And maybe paying them to go back wouldn't be such a bad idea. I don't know.
For this guy, it's just less competition, right?
Hey,
It's
we
true.
can exchange him for
No,
the white
absolutely
South
not.
African
No
people
way.
being killed by the blacks over there, so we could just
So
get a
all
little
black people are
trade.
the same. Black Africans and black Americans are the
Yeah,
same.
that's what he would say.
No.
What are you talking about? How are you generalizing saying black and we're gonna send them back to Africa? I ain't never been
I'm
to Africa.
sorry.
I've never been to
I
Africa.
got-
I have no association with Africa.
Coloreds. I'm sorry. I meant to say colored.
Okay.
Will, have you ever dated a black girl?
Not dated. Or actually,
He said it was just on the weekend. Just on the weekend.
Well, what did you do?
she was a great girl.
What?
She was a great girl.
What?
She was a great girl.
What do you mean?
We hung out for a few
Read
weeks.
my shirt. What?
No, we hung out for a few weeks. She was a lot of fun. It just didn't work out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. We didn't like officially date.
She was too black for him.
She was just one. So you only dated one?
Yeah.
You had enough, huh?
Dating in LA is already hard enough. So.
That's right.
You know.
Have you ever dated a black girl, Sam?
Yes, sir.
And it,
You want the chocolate, but you don't want the chocolate. What's the deal? Come on.
Actually, because before you let me finish my point, I do
Okay, go
I do
ahead.
believe a distinct difference between African women and of course American black women. There is a total difference. 100%, yes.
Wait, how is there a difference?
How is there a
Yeah, I'm
difference?
curious. How is there a difference?
I don't know. Hundreds of years of being here.
So it's not just the skin color then.
No, I'm saying that assimilation, like he was trying to get at. Oh, if
I
they
gotta get
assimilate, kind
moving.
of
Well,
thing.
Run out of time.
this is really interesting because you said that black people are distinctly different from white people, but now you're saying, well, if you've been here for a couple hundred years, you assimilate. That
No,
was
I'm
what he
saying
said
they're,
earlier.
I'm
You
saying they have a
disagree
shared heritage with us.
Well, also, a lot of
That's
them are
all.
white blood from.
I'm
So
saying.
Travis, I gotta ask. Once you go black, is it possible to go back?
Not true. Not
It's
true.
not true. You could go back.
Wait, it's impossible to go back? I don't. Rephrase it?
So you dated a black girl, right?
Yeah.
And once you go black,
And see,
Can you go
that's
back?
why it's so funny when people call me a supremacist. I can
didn't
acknowledge
answer
that the
that
races
question.
are different, and people call me a supremacist. It's so ridiculous.
can you go back?
Can you go back from having sex with black girls?
Well, hey, that's about it. You can read my shirt.
I don't believe in your stuff like that.
So, have you ever dated a black girl?
Me? Yes.
Oh, you have. Have you dated a white girl?
Yes.
Which you like
I
best?
don't discriminate.
Ooh.
That's my girlfriend right there, y'all. Don't put me on the spot. My girl is right there.
Are you white?
Yeah.
You white?
I'm white. I'm Irish and English and Norwegian. I'm white.
Once you go black, can you go back?
No, he's
Once
a
you go
driver.
Brandon, you don't go back. That's it. Okay.
Have you ever dated a black girl?
Not yet, Jesse.
Have you dated a white girl?
Yep.
I'm Mexican.
Yep.
Why not black?
I just haven't met
I
the
thought
right
you
one,
loved
guess.
black people.
Doesn't mean I want to date them.
Ooh.
I haven't met one to date yet.
Ooh. Have you? Well, we know you.
Wait. So you have something in common with David Duke. That's great. That's awesome.
Have you ever dated a black girl?
No, the only girls I date are Asian girls.
Are you? Ooh.
You serious, bro?
So you don't date Mexican women?
I gotta tell you, my whole life, white, Latin, black, none of those girls like me. The Asian girls like me for some reason. I just do well with Asian girls. That's what it is. That's what worked out with me. Yeah, so it just works.
So I got to ask about censorship, and then I'm going to the audience. I have been censored by these folks, right? They demonetize me and all that kind of stuff. Shadow ban, they just kind of hate me. What do you? I know Dennis is dealing with that now. You guys are going to court. Is that true? With Google or
Yeah,
somebody?
we're suing you too.
Yeah.
And so, and when is this happening? When are you guys going to court? Are you able to tell us?
I can tell you some things. I can
Okay,
say that
right.
our next court date is, if everything works out, hopefully going to be in Seattle at the end of August, which is very exciting. Well, we really think our case is going to go to the Supreme Court because these big tech companies, this is a First Amendment issue,
Yeah.
and they've claimed to be public forums at the exact same time that they've said that they're private companies. So essentially, they can't censor people based on political content, and then also say, oh, we have no hand in this. We don't
Editorialist.
we don't editorialize for any of this stuff. And so they're trying to play both sides of the fence, have their cake and eat it too. And so we're basically calling them out for restricting our videos. They've restricted over 100 PragerU videos on YouTube. Videos like "Do Not Murder." You know, that's a pretty controversial topic, I guess. Some of us.
I teach love. I said, don't hate but to love. Disagree but don't hate. And they still censor me.
Right. No, they do it to everyone. It's totally left-wing bias. It's totally left-wing bias. The
Yeah.
people who work there are left-wing bias. The algorithms are some faceless Silicon Valley algorithm that works against conservative points of view.
The White House circulated some type of draft to do something about this. Now, you hear about that?
I've heard parts about it. Personally, I think the main thing to do is lawsuits right now. Is that
Yeah,
companies
I agree.
who are affected need to be taking up action, and that people, if you're like a small creator out there, just someone who's getting shadow banned, reach out to publications, reach out to news sources, and talk to them every single time. People like PragerU and so many other organizations want to pick your stuff up and talk about it because it's such a hot button issue, it's such a fire issue, and we're always adding more fuel to the fire of what these big tech companies are doing. So don't be scared to say that you're getting censored. Always put it out there, publicize it.
Would they
I
help me?
agree with that.
Over at PragerU, would they help me? I'm getting censored.
Well, we support free speech on any sense. So
They wouldn't help me.
So Trevor, let me ask, Travis,
Is anybody here a staunch Zionist? Just want to make sure.
I think it means you
No.
support
we
Israel.
support. So even if we won't say we agree with your ideas, we support
Right.
everyone to have the ability to.
well, I know Dennis is that way anyway. He may, even if he doesn't agree, he definitely support it, free speech. So let me ask Travis, there are a lot of talent and millennial guys and girls around, right? Why don't you create your own stuff?
We already are.
In what way?
You can go to worldtruth.mx. That's a really great place. You can, there's like Gab and stuff like that. I mean, I still got censored on Gab, but it's like,
They're garbage.
yeah, I mean, Andrew Torba,
Yeah.
I don't know what his deal is. I don't know why he censored me. I don't get it. I think I criticized Trump, so maybe that's why. I don't know.
So people always talk to PragerU about this being a lot of conservatives give us flack. Oh, they're the private company; they can do whatever they want. It really isn't. These companies have a monopoly on free speech. They're saying that they're a public forum, and a lot of people say, "Go create your own business. Go create your own company." A company, Microsoft, that has hundreds of billions of dollars and is on the cutting edge of technology, created Bing. Does anyone here use Bing? No, unless you're a total loser.
Yeah, no one uses Bing.
A company that has hundreds of billions of dollars can't create a good alternative to Google. Who can? There is no alternative. It's up to us to make sure that they are treated as public forums.
Is Google a private organization or are they funded by our taxes?
No, they are a private organization. Yes.
And are we in, so what?
Bing is the incel search engine.
Oh. Now what is the loser? And so do we have a right to tell a private company what to do?
Well, that's what's really tough about this, because these sorts of laws and things have never been done before, right? Is claiming, that's why we hope that our case will go to the Supreme Court, because these kind of things have never been, taken this far before. There are no free speech laws about public forums on the internet right now, really, that hold up enough. So that's why it's a really tricky thing, and there's a lot of difference.
It could be like a utility, right? Can't we make like Google like a utility, right? So basically, like, we're talking on the phone or using electricity, whatever that is, that's a utility. So it's something that can be used if we can push it that way, can't we?
I just disagree with the government being
Yeah,
involved.
me too.
I love the
That's what I'm
class
concerned
action
about.
lawsuit or something
Yeah.
we can do. We can sue them. We can get off their platform. If everybody leaves Facebook,
Yeah.
there's no Facebook. And
Well, the thing is,
you can say it's a public square if you want to, but you don't have to be on there. I don't want the government to get involved in it, and then they implement their laws, and then when somebody take over at some point in time, just like the red flag laws, if somebody take over, they're going to take it too far.
Right.
And I don't want them to take it too far. It is a private business, and if we don't like it, we can get off of it. The same thing with MySpace. When MySpace was around, nobody uses MySpace anymore. They went to Facebook because it pretty much wasn't as popular. And the same thing, if we conservatives or whoever else have a problem with Facebook, you develop something that's worthy and put money behind it, then we can eventually transfer our
what
stuff
I'm
over.
saying is that companies can make, like I was saying with the Bing example, is that like a company with $100 billion couldn't make an alternative to it. So I get what you're saying about not, I agree with you completely.
So what legislation are we going to pass
Yeah,
that's
that's why
the
it's
problem.
gotta be
Oh, for sure. We need less government, that's for sure. Yeah.
that's not
Keep the
true.
government
That's
out of
not
it.
I remember when the civil rights movement started and the blacks started imposing on private white businesses, men and women who built their own company
Lord have mercy.
without government funding. And even as a little kid then I thought that was wrong because you have a right to build your own business. And if you don't want someone there, you have a right. It may not be a good idea for your business, but you have a right to say, no, you can't use it. Am I wrong about that?
All I know.
Let me ask Will and then
Yeah. I don't think so. If it's a private company, they should be able to.
But that's why I was wondering about Google and all that.
So there's a difference. There's anti-discriminatory laws, so saying, I don't want to sell to you because of the color of your skin or your religion. And then there's certain, like with the cake baker, right? That's not because, he didn't not bake the cake because the guy was gay. He did it because he doesn't do gay marriages. So there's like a difference there, is that he doesn't make a cake for a certain type of act. So it's not because the guy's gay. The guy could have came in and made a cake for, or he could have asked and said, I want a birthday cake, whatever. And the guy would have made it. He had no problem making a cake for a gay man. It was about the act, the certain thing that went against his religious principle is what, why it was free speech issue.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, I mean, the simple answer is just to rally white people. We put someone who's in office who's actually going to do a trust bust and just destroy those companies. I would just level them, literally level them with the government authority too.
I hope you never.
Do you want a wall, a big beautiful wall around the border? Do you want it?
I want 50 cal machine guns. I want like straight up. I want an AC 130 gunship strafing anybody who comes. Caravans, just limbs everywhere.
He's just playing.
No, I'm
Do you
not
want
actually.
a wall
Not
around
at
the
all.
border?
I would
Big
have no
beautiful
problem
wall.
Do I want
signing
what?
that.
A wall around the
Gladly.
border.
Yeah, for sure.
How about you? You don't want a wall?
My money on a wall? No.
Are you okay with the illegal coming in?
With the illegals coming in?
Yes.
No, we should make them legal.
You should what?
Make them legal.
How?
Find a way to make them citizens.
So they should break the law to come here and we reward them?
Yeah, change the laws. We've done-
How many of them? How many of them?
Right now, I think there's about 13 million of them.
I'm saying, how many will you? Everybody that come here? If you,
Whoever wants to come in
if you
and work,
make it,
it's the United
higher
States.
than
If you
that.
want to come in and work here,
Are you for the
and
wall?
your tax, you don't want to waste your tax on a wall, but you waste your tax.
No, I don't want to waste my tax on a wall, but that's because people that come here and work actually generate business.
Peace
No, they don't.
straight.
And they
No, they
do.
don't.
They
No, they don't.
absolutely do. And you can look at economic study.
How you gonna work without how you gonna work without a social security number?
People find a way to do it
They
anyway.
steal other
Not
people's
only do they
Mike.
work with a social security number, it's not even their own,
All
so they
right,
pay
come
for
on.
it. They don't even
They
take out
steal
from
from
it.
somebody.
Right, we gotta
Those
change
baby boomers get all
Will's
the name.
mic.
What?
Yes, my mic.
Yeah, your mic.
Check.
Testing.
And then we coming to the audience, so get ready.
Are we doing
I'm
it right
coming
now?
to you guys.
I don't know what's wrong with my
You've been
mic.
talking.
Good discussion here.
Yeah, I don't even know why everybody's debating it. I mean, I would just get someone in office and just break them down, man. That's as easy as it's going to be. So,
Are you gonna run for president?
me when I'm 35, 100%. Yeah, I'll take the white party straight to the White House. Yeah.
You
Right, you
get a
can
few
laugh
votes.
all you want, but man, when we get
White
the
party
critical
already
mass,
in the
you
White
guys will
House.
really regret laughing at us.
Yeah.
Huh?
It would just be so amazing if we had the actual parties united working for the best of this country, because
Right.
just imagine how
Yeah,
well
that
we would
doesn't
all
make
be
any
doing.
sense at all.
It'd be
because
amazing
the,
if we
the
could
whole
do that.
left-right paradigm is designed in order to make sure that things don't go.
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's
function.
unfortunate.
So
Very unfortunate. Just imagine.
that's why you drop the left-right stuff, guys. So just join the. If you're white American and you're proud of your white heritage, join the white party.
Where the black people gonna go?
Black people can do their own thing. I don't care about them. I really don't.
And then you think you're gonna lead a country acting like that?
Let me find out. Ask me in 10 years. Ask me in 10 years.
Country's only getting less white. You're running out of time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's the point, dude. And with people like you, you're just encouraging more whites to join my side. So I really
Threatened
appreciate
by somebody that's
No, I
black
really
or Hispanic.
appreciate it. I really
They
appreciate
don't
it.
threaten me. I get along with people that don't look like me
white
just fine.
nationalists to my side, and I really
Okay.
appreciate that.
I mean, they'll be here for a little while longer. That's
Thank
fine.
you, Stephen.
What? Nobody said it's anybody's responsibility. If you're a part of the government, it's your responsibility to serve the people, white, black, or green.
No, great, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Private
yeah.
citizens have no
So
responsibility.
why
to anybody else.
can't Trump say white
Yeah, a
people
lot of
unless
men
he's
are
demonized?
enthused about making a change.
I don't know.
He's literally never said the words white people in a positive context.
What
Did you
does
know
it
that?
matter? What does
He
it matter?
says black people, Latino people,
What does it
Jewish
matter?
people. It means that your whole
Yeah,
ideology is flawed because
Of what part?
the Republican Party isn't trying to preserve white America,
Ready?
which means
Oh,
no
okay.
guns, which
All
means
right.
no free speech,
Okay.
which means all your amendments are gone. Your Bill of Rights is gone after white America's gone.
Dude, I can't even
Sorry.
follow you.
Oh, I gotta ask. And then I'm going to the
You think
audience.
black people are going to protect the Second Amendment?
Okay, let me ask.
Hey, what do you mean? Black people use the Second Amendment to fight against all the people in the civil rights.
It's no-
We
it's-
talk about like the Black
I
Panthers.
would almost agree with you,
Amazing.
but you're far left.
Sure.
But his arguments are
any
making no
questions?
sense. It makes it's.
Oh, okay.
Not to a black person.
Well,
it
that's
won't.
also part of
So
the
let me
reason
ask,
slavery
when the
too, was
president
right to
dealt
own
with
firearms.
the 4 thugs from Congress, remember those 4 women of color?
The justice.
What were their names? Oh, what did you think of the way he handled them?
I think he handled it great, personally,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
What did you think of that, Trevor?
Did he deport them?
What did you think of that?
I mean, to be honest, I think it was slightly pointless to do that. I don't think it gained him anything, but I don't have a problem with him doing it.
What do you
I
mean
think that-
pointless to do it?
Did he have to really tweet that and did he have to do it? Maybe he didn't. But I don't care. You know, it's not gonna make I don't feel like it was a negative knock on the president for doing that. I think that these people are anti-American. But he didn't really make a point because some of these people were actually citizens, so it kinda didn't make sense.
The point
but I do
was,
support
if
him.
you if you love this country, you should put
No, but if you can
first
say
rather than talking against the
But
country.
this is what I want to say. If you want to make a argument, then at least make sure that it's foolproof. If you're going to tell a person to go back to your home country and they were born here, he could have just picked Ilhan Omar. It would have made more sense. But at the same time, is it bad that he said it? No, because I understand his point. But I would have liked for him to be more efficient with his point so they didn't have a lot to say negatively about it.
What did you think about it?
It's ridiculous that if you don't like it, leave. That's okay if you're a parent talking to your kid, but a president can't say that to citizens of their own country. That's insane.
Amazing. What did you think about it?
More than that.
I mean, I don't know. It was a lot of words, I guess, not really much action. I mean, I do support the president, but you know, I would prefer more action on the event at hand. You know?
Was he wrong for what he said?
No.
Oh, okay. What did you think about what he said?
I'm looking at the bigger picture. He's not just thinking about Ilhan Omar. He's making this the Democratic Party. These are the faces of the Democratic Party, which are anti-America, pro-radical Muslim, the whole deal like that. So he's painting right now, again, he's putting the bait and he makes the face of, when you say Democrat, you're going to think of Ilhan Omar, the squad, these crazy women that hate America. That's the whole point of what he did. So that's the way I look at it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I wanted to clear up with you.
Stand up. Stand up.
Of course, I'm happy to. I just wanted to clear up what you described as your experience as a police officer about an individual determined to be medically incompetent is different and distinct from the red flag laws. The red flag laws simply state anybody in this room can call a police officer and say, this lady is mentally incompetent. That information is then taken to a judge, bypassing the medical community, and the judge makes a determination. That's the insidiousness of the red flag laws, different than the existing laws that you described, which in fact are throughout the United States. And in fact, on the 4473 or 72 federal firearms form, when you purchase it, they ask you, have you been medically determined to be incompetent? Yes or no. So that's what you're described is not a red flag law. Red flag law is anybody can call a cop, and then the cops immediately come out, take your guns, and then you go to court. Totally different. That's the insidiousness of the red flag law.
I understand your point. It's not that simple, but I do.
So your girlfriend could get mad at you for coming in late.
That's exactly right.
And they have this red flag law.
I'm not coming in late. All right?
She's like, Beta. No, she's like, and she's like, my boyfriend just got home and he's mad. He acts like he kind of off a little bit. I think he's on drugs. And she's only mad because you came in late. And he has guns, so I'm scared. They're gonna come and get you.
No, let me explain just quickly about a petition, just real quick. And like I said, I'm not supporting. I just want to articulate kind of. You have to have certain criteria to fit the petition to get somebody even heard by a judge. We used to have that all the time. People would say things.
That, though.
No, I'm saying this is how it was applied. People would say things about everybody. We wouldn't have enough police officers to respond every time somebody say something stupid. So it's not going to go down that path, I think, because we don't have enough law enforcement officers to
Well, what happened if somebody, the Democrats take over? They hate men.
I agree with you. That's why I don't think they should implement red flag laws, period. I'm just explaining
so
what it
you're
looks
not
like.
coming in late ever?
I'll call ahead if I come in late.
Beta Bell.
It's called wanting to be happy. That's all it is.
What? They call what?
Wanting to be happy.
So if you call,
You respect the other person. That's what
so
you do.
you want to be happy, or you want her to be
We
happy,
both gonna be happy.
and so she would be unhappy if you came in late.
If I didn't have a good excuse, I come in late, she'll be unhappy. And then we both gonna be unhappy. We're gonna be arguing about it. So to make both of us happy and we can succeed and have a good life, I'm gonna say, hey, babe, I'm coming in late. 5 minutes, I'll be there. Boom. What's wrong with respecting? What's wrong? Hey, we agreed to that.
Do you
Hey, what's wrong with communicating?
do you shave your body?
Huh?
Do you shave your body?
You asked me that last time.
Doing a rerun, Jesse?
I know. I do shave.
Ooh.
I almost want to say what I said last time.
No, don't say it.
I do shave.
Will you shave?
No, I don't use Gillette no more.
I would shave before, and then after our last thing, I haven't shaved my.
Right on, man. Alpha male.
Pull your pant leg up.
Oh, look at this. It's disgusting.
Show the world. boy like a werewolf.
Oh, let me ask Travis.
No,
Travis,
it's
do you
caveman.
shave?
That's what it is.
Travis, you shave your body?
Huh?
Huh? You shave your body?
Don't be asking me that.
What? Right on. Will, I know, I mean, not Will, but Destiny, I know you shave.
Jesse, are we going to spend another 30 minutes on this? Didn't we do this last episode?
Do you shave,
I'm sure the gentleman has a good question, or is that what
Randy,
he's asking
you
us?
shave?
Oh yeah, I would love that.
You don't need to shave.
I don't really have a reason to shave.
Do you shave on the end? You shave?
I grew I trim. No, I don't let it go too crazy.
Okay, I have a question for all of you. You've all identified at the beginning of the segment that young men, or most of you, Destiny, had some good points. You identified that young men feeling lost was a cause of a lot of the violence.
Not me.
Thank you. Would you agree that a good way to solve the problem would be to seize the guns from every male and let the women handle them? Would that solve the problem?
No way.
Ready to die?
Never let the woman in charge. No way. No.
Well, if the women aren't killing people, then seizing the guns from all the men.
They will start.
Why would they start?
No, if it's a legitimate question, I'll answer the question. If it's a legitimate question, I said this before. I said this before. I don't think that taking guns away from anybody is going to solve the problem of hatred and killing in our country. More people get stabbed to death, 3 times more people get stabbed to death in this country than get killed by AR-15s. So it's not about guns. It's about the parent in the home, the father of the home.
Wait, why would you compare to the AR-15? There's like 50 people a year that died of rifles.
It's like how many?
There's like 50 people a year that died of like
Thousands of people die from getting stabbed to death.
Sure, but like 30,000 people died
on,
from handguns. I just think it's interesting that you.
60% are suicide.
Sure, but I still think it's interesting that we went to rifles.
Blah, 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 blah. Hold on.
Because that's what they're banning.
Sir, I believe you identified during this segment an example when you were a police officer where you took the guns away from a man who was dangerous. I'm just advocating that you expand from just the mentally ill to all males.
No,
and how does this logic fail?
Okay, we didn't take his guns indefinitely. We didn't take his guns permanently. We didn't take his guns permanently. We took it until he got medically cleared.
Yes, sir.
We don't have it.
Incel.
It starts at.
You need your support.
Well, in regard, I'll just respond to what he said.
Okay.
Giving women power, like he just suggested, is a fate worse than death, and having all these killings.
Okay, just 2 things here. The white supremacist thing is overblown. Because I don't know if you I'm a facts person. So in 2018, 50 people were killed by white supremacists. They say they threw a lot of people in there. That's up from 2017, 37. But yet we can kill 8,000 black kids killing themselves a year. So, but the problem is that nobody ever goes to the detailed fact. And the problem I have with Republicans, whatever, is that they just let all that stuff lay out and don't do anything about it. The last point I have here as far as the gun situation, we don't have a gun problem. What we have is a breakdown of family problem. The family used to work with the school, we used to work with church, used to work with everybody, and that was community. Now, I grew up in the 60s, in the South too. We didn't have this stuff going on. Big Mama, Medea, Auntie, everybody was packing. And if you guys don't know what that is, they was having 4 pistols and a knife. 2 on the side, 1 in the bosom, and 1 here, whatever. And we didn't have none of this stuff going on because you got your butt tore up for getting out of line, okay? So we got to get back to what parents, this thing is a breakdown of the parents. When I went to my son's school and did the parent-teacher conference, 40 kids in the class, 2 parents show up. Next class, 40 kids in the class, 2 parents show up. If you got a school of 3,000 kids, parents need to get up off their lazy butt. 500 to 600 parents should be at that school every day, volunteer and get the lives of the kids. That's where it comes from. You don't start there. If a lot of this gun stuff will stop.
Amazing. That's right. I'm coming. The white man first.
Thank you.
White privilege.
So everyone had somewhat different opinions on why it started, but we all seem to agree that mental health is a significant issue in America right now. I want your guys' opinions on state mental health facilities, if we should bring them back, what are the benefits and the negatives?
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should. A lot of the homeless here in California are mentally ill people that don't have anywhere to go.
And they can't afford treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they need treatment. They need help.
What's causing mental illness?
Oh boy. Too many things for me to list, but I guess.
You smoke pot?
No, I do not.
You stop?
No. Well, no.
He forgot.
No. I do
So
think
you stop?
I do think that contributes to some of the mental health problems in California, for example. Yes.
So how come more young men are mentally ill rather than women?
There seems to be a lot of things disproportionately affecting men nowadays, beyond just workplace problems, domestic violence, etc. But I think it's men feel, as I forgot which one said it, that they're not getting the support they need in today's world, and the media isn't on their side. There's a lot of things.
Do you feel that way?
I guess so, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
What does it feel like to feel that way?
Oh boy, I'm not a poet. I guess it just feels like, I don't know. I can't describe it.
You feel afraid, and as Brandio said, hard to find a job, or if you're in college or something, you're discriminated against. You feel all that?
No, I live in California though.
Hell,
No, I
yeah,
don't think so.
I was the
can't.
only white guy on the bus. I was the only white person on the bus. I can't get a job at any place in my neighborhood because it's all Mexican bodegas, and they're never going to hire me. So.
I can't get a job where I live.
Thank you, buddy. Really good. Yes, sir.
I want to go back to your very first question that you asked the panel, and I sure do. I especially like to get Brandon's feedback, especially as a ex-officer and as a Black American. The question about what happened in Chicago. I heard from Fox News, I think it was Sunday morning, how I think between 1 and 5 a.m. Saturday night, Sunday morning. At that point, 20 people had been shot. Okay. At the end of the weekend, it was 52 shot, 7 dead, all, to my knowledge, Black. Only Fox News made any mention of this. MSNBC, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, the left media won't touch like a plague. You know why? And this goes to your question. Because it does not fit their narrative of a Black versus white conflict. Black people are committing suicide. Baltimore is now, even though it's lost over 40,000 people in the last 10 years, down to 600,000, less than 1 million. It is now the per capita, the murder capital of the world. What President Trump did was a stroke of genius in calling out Elijah Common. It brought attention to all these left-wing cities for the last 50 years. LA was happening to Garcia now with the recall and the homeless issue. Attention is being brought to these Democratic enclaves, major cities, been run for decades by liberal Democrat policies that have failed the Black community, the Black politicians, Congressional Black Caucus. They're all irrelevant, have sold out to Black people. But your question is, and I'd like to get maybe Brandon's feedback as an officer and so forth, being in the media.
He won't be late coming home.
Yeah. The media won't touch it.
Integrity, that's what it's called.
The media won't touch it. Only Fox News is talking about it. Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson, they're sending people there on the ground. Why do you think, do you see a change? Do you think they will? Do you think you see any changes happening in the inner city in light of President Trump calling out Elijah Cummings? Do you see change coming?
Yeah, it was a bunch of conservatives that went down to Baltimore and did a cleanup. They cleaned up tons and tons of stuff. And I think, let me speak, brother. Let me speak. So a lot of people have gone down there, and a lot of people are expressing, and President Trump said this, that they're calling him on the phone and tell him, thank you for bringing this up. Because Baltimore is the murder capital of any city its size. You talk about people on TV crying and saying there's all these shootings that's going on. It's been happening in Baltimore. It's been happening in Chicago. There's more, if people don't know this, there's more young Black people that have died in Chicago than have died in Afghanistan and Iraq in that war. It's thousands more people. There's an active, it's pretty much a mass shooting every weekend in Chicago. The reason that they don't touch it because it doesn't fit their narrative. People are being killed in the hood by handguns, not assault rifles. They don't want to talk about it. That's why they don't want to talk about it.
Let me ask you this. It's happening because the Black men are so weak, and they allow the women and children to be used for that purpose. Why are the Black men so weak? And they allow the children of the lie to use the women and children.
The breakdown of the family, it correlates with violence. Black people are 75% born in single-parent homes. Black people commit half of the murders in this country.
Yeah,
it is a correlation.
There's no
it is a correlation.
Zero difference in the
It's
race.
called culture.
Why is Black culture different than white culture?
So is race and culture tied together at all?
Is race and culture tied together?
Is race and culture tied together? In some cases,
Travis,
it is.
this is for you.
I got
Hold
a
on.
little bit out.
Oh, it's facts.
Yeah.
Travis,
It's facts.
Savage,
Sometimes
Travis,
it is.
shut up, boy. Get up off your knees, boy.
Well, my question's not really political, but rather, I noticed that you're more of like a black white supremacist, or because as a white nationalist, if you date interracially, are you not actively?
I didn't. White
Are you
nationalist
not
doesn't make you a
actively
supremacist.
tainting your very message?
Huh?
I need you to explain how you can be a white nationalist
Am I having
wanting
babies
to
with black
perpetuate the white race and have them succeed if you are muddying the waters.
I'm not.
How can you do that?
I'm not. I dated a black girl before I became a white
Which is
nationalist.
against your narrative. So my question is, how serious are you about this white nationalist thing? Is it just something you're doing to get attention, or what? I don't know how you can sleep with the enemy.
To get attention. That's why I'm getting banned from every
Well, you
single
can't be
thing
a white
possible.
nationalist and date interracially because you're going to be
I'm not.
contributing to the race
What are
issue.
you getting at? I dated a black girl in my past. Is that okay?
But you never answered if you were going back.
No, I did. I did answer that.
I'm just pointing out the hypocritical nature of what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm not
I
a
think what he's
hypocrite at
saying
all.
is that when he dated the black girl, he wasn't into politics. He wasn't a nationalist then. And so since they broke up, he decided to stand up for the country.
Yeah.
Right. So
really rough breakup.
Right.
like I said, it's not very political.
Let me
It's just
explain-
that I'm trying
let me explain
to
something, too.
piece it together because you haven't explained yourself yet. Because you have.
And let me explain this. If I
It's
date
what-
an American black woman,
Yes.
that's a lot different than dating an African American
How so?
African woman.
How
Huh?
so?
Huh? Because
How
we have
so?
a shared heritage. Black people who have been here since slavery and white people here have a shared heritage. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to get along. Doesn't mean we have to live next to each other. I prefer segregation. But if possible, I would like to send. I would like to send as many back to Africa as possible.
What do you mean back? Are you
that-
talking about the
Listen,
Africans that
listen,
migrate here,
listen
or
to me.
someone
The
like me
ones
that has an
willing, the
American
ones
birth
willing, the
certificate?
ones
Who are you
willing.
talking about?
The ones willing to go back. The ones who are consistently saying this is a white supremacist country.
Travis, we can't go back somewhere we've never been. You have to get your facts straight.
No,
I'm an American
no,
citizen.
you absolutely can go
The
back.
question is, how does your personal life affect your political narrative and this white nationalist thing? Because I just want to make sure you get your story straight.
Okay, well, I'm not
I'm
dating.
confused. I don't believe anything you're saying because you're an active hypocrite.
It was before he became a white nationalist.
Well, he didn't say
Are you
that.
a nationalist? Are you a nationalist?
I don't know.
I am, and I actually got into a heated discussion with some blacks this week because I am.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was.
You ever dated a white man?
I have. I didn't say I was a black nationalist. I said I'm a nationalist.
You are black.
Yeah.
He's white.
Well, it works on the piano.
Are you
Anyways, thank you. I just wanted to point out the hypocrisy that I see. That's all.
Not a hypocrite.
Are you available?
For the Lord, yes.
She available, Travis. Come on, sir. Yes, sir.
How's it going, guys? So I just wanted to touch on the topic about the censorship. It has been, I've seen on my channel a lot that the shadow banning for sure is a real thing. I always thought it was just like media hype, but it is true. I've seen my subscribers go up 300 in a day and then go down like 250, and then it goes back and people are being unsubscribed and they're messaging me. So I would say I know you don't stand for any government regulation or anything, but the way I believe is that the government is here to protect us from domestic and foreign terrorism, but also to protect our Constitution. So I think that the only regulation that I feel that the government should have in that type of situation is to regulate those companies that are making such a making it such a public forum and cornering the market for public communication, that the First Amendment should be regulated, that should be mandated within those companies by our government. I feel like that's the only regulation I agree with, is that they should step in and protect our Constitution, our First Amendment. And I think that should be, I feel like that could be a bipartisan agreement to come to, that the government could step in only for that one regulation, is to protect our First Amendment.
And I agree with you, but my only fear in it is that if certain people get into power and they start determining what is hate speech, and then now the government can start implementing things in our social media
so,
forums.
so that's I'm 100% in agreement with that, because that is a slippery slope, and like the red flag law. If
literally
another
already
person,
happening. It's like, I don't know why this conversation's so far behind. First of all, like I said, you guys are, this is so ridiculous. The whole reason why we're getting censored is because there's a left and right paradigm in the first place. That's why I go straight for white nationalism. White brothers and sisters, join me and we'll tackle this together. We don't need to do.
Then the black people don't. Now you're gonna have a black and white issue.
They're 12% of the population. I think we'll be fine with that.
This is like such a weird conversation. The reason you get censored is like, if you have problems with censorship, then you have problems with capitalism. The only reason why the algorithm works the way it does, sure, I know you don't, because you're consistent on that, and that's good. But for the PragerU, it's very interesting that we can go through all of PragerU's channel and we can find these incredibly naive analyses and defenses of capitalism.
Hey, Will.
But then when you talk about like why people are getting censored on YouTube, it's because people just want to make money. That's what the algorithms are for. Like if you have problems with companies getting too big, Democrats or leftists have been complaining about that for all of American history.
Will, is there anything we can do to help PragerU in this lawsuit he's dealing with?
Yeah, you can go onto our website, prageru.com/donate. You can donate. Lawyer fees are, you might know, not the greatest. And you can go and check out all the information about our lawsuit. And if you guys see our videos online, always share them. Get them out there to as many people as possible. And a lot of the times when people share PragerU videos, they get censored too. So just be aware.
Okay, this question is for Travis and
Destiny. It's more. It's a question and a comment. Have you forgiven your mother?
Is that
for?
Is that
I don't
serious?
know how to answer that. What is it? Forgive her for what?
Well, that's a Jesse Lee Peterson thing. It's like if you can't overcome your mother, then you don't know your own identity.
Nice lady. We had a great upbringing, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, I love my mom. I don't know what she has to do with my politics. Today, but-
All right, thank you, man. All right. What y'all want? Okay, one question, because I got to go across the room, all right? Just one. Yes, sir.
All right. So one thing I haven't heard anybody talk about, I want to get you guys' opinion on. Antidepressants and antipsychotics, and the possible link between that and mass shootings. The fact that mass shootings have risen in this country since the rise of antidepressants use. And
That's funny. That started around what, 1965, I bet.
yeah, so I want to know you guys' opinions on that, because we talk a lot about race and guns and all these things, but no one actually talked about the kind of common link that a lot of these mass shooters have, which is that.
I think over medicating people is a big problem in America. I've seen it firsthand. They give you one drug that causes another problem, and before you know it, you're 20 years old and you got 50 drugs that you're taking to combat something that you can easily fix naturally.
Yeah. Another thing is don't trust the expert, because all the time kid goes to school, he's running around, and the teacher says, "Oh, I think we should recommend it." Parents are so stupid today; they let the teacher be the parent, and that starts right there as well. So again, I think it comes back to at home, the strong leadership.
So I noticed that you have on a Trump hat, and you white. He white. Are you afraid of being attacked?
Yes, actually, before I came here, my mom told me not to wear it until we get to the venue, because it is a little scary sometimes.
Were you in a car?
I mean, yeah, but I had to walk from the car
what's
to
your
here.
problem?
So did you do what your mother said?
Yeah, kind of. I carried it with me. I put it on when we were outside, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't wear it everywhere.
How old are you?
Wouldn't wear it on the
20.
bus, but.
Okay. Thank you for wearing it. Alpha male.
I just want to say, this is my favorite example of the persecuted white man. It's the guy that is getting driven by his mom to an all-conservative event who's scared to wear his hat in his car.
Yeah, because you're gonna get beat up by a leftist.
You think you think it's more common that somebody in a Trump hat is going to get beaten up by a leftist than a black guy shot by a cop?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let me get. Well, you want to talk about black people getting shot by cops? Let me give you an example. There is probably thousands of people who've been assaulted because they're wearing Trump gear. Thousands. Now, you talk about black people getting shot. The only ones that you can even consider to be even up for discussion is people who are unarmed. And just because you're unarmed don't mean you don't deserve to get your butt shot. We've seen that plenty of times. It's rare. You're more likely to get struck by lightning than get shot by a cop. And if you're not doing nothing, it's almost even impossible to get shot by a cop if you're not out here committing crimes and acting a fool. don't try to speak on behalf of black folks because this is what adds to the victimhood mentality. I don't have problems.
I don't need to speak on behalf of anybody because the numbers speak for themselves.
What numbers? What numbers?
What of the number of black people that are killed by cops?
How many?
But I don't know the exact number.
Okay, of course you don't.
Oh.
So you don't know what you're talking about.
How many people are
There's more. Listen.
Antifa killing in the streets? We talked about earlier. You're scared of an Antifa guy showing
I'm not scared of nobody.
Nobody.
I have a gun. I'm not scared of anybody. How do you know?
Because they're not. Because if it happens,
They hit
the guy they talk about every single time
Antifa hits people over the head with bats.
My God.
They wear masks. They throw pee on people.
They wear masks.
How about show you have never seen Antifa?
I have. You can watch it on YouTube video.
What's up?
Hold on.
Just show respect.
Oh, you didn't see his video. Did you see his video? Go watch it. Go watch his video. They attacked him, and he had to throw them things on him.
Google it, man.
Just Google that.
Antifa was out there killing people. We see it reported every single day.
The cops
on
don't
Fox
attack
News
people.
headline.
They
There's a
don't.
reason why you're not pointing to what happened.
Hold on, guys.
All right, well, first off, like he says, you shouldn't be speaking about black folk issues because you don't know enough. You think you do, but the media and those resources don't give you what you need. I thought about
Why do
what
black
we
people
talked
get to talk
about.
about black people problems?
Hold on.
Fags get to
No.
talk about
Why do
black
white people get to
problems?
talk about white people problems?
No, I'm saying, why is it such a
Hey,
big
why
deal
are you a
when I
white
do it?
nationalist? Just a
Why is it
second,
big
hold
deal
on.
when I do it?
Hold on. And I don't mean that in a racist way, but I can tell you that I keep up with a lot of things that a lot of people are ignorant of. One, I'm looking at the fact that when we ask about the young guy who did the shooting, what we have to understand is this. We have young people who want to see things done in this country. And when they don't see the government coming together to deal with issues, see, it's people that want a wall. Young people. We got young people right here that want a wall. You got young people that want this border shut down. And guess what? When they don't see the government moving in the united front, then they have to take action into their own hands. And I believe that's part of what this young man was about, unfortunately. But we know it's a mental thing too. But that's how desperate people are becoming because of what we're seeing around here. Two, this young man here.
Do three.
Okay, but the guy here, I'm gonna tell you, he, the white supremacist. The white supremacist. That's what he is. But no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, but what he said, it went over everybody's head like a bullet. You know what he said when he first made that statement about white people? He said, we vote on issues. Other races vote because of race. If I see a black man up there, I'm just gonna vote for that black man. I don't care what he's gonna be about. If I see a Mexican up there, I'm gonna just vote for that Mexican. I don't care what his issues are.
Have you never looked at statistics?
But white folks tend to deal with issues, and that's what they're using right now on us.
So you agree with what he said?
No, what I'm saying is that he's taken a notice about his people that he like over others. I wouldn't want to be with somebody who vote because of what you look like, opposed to what your issues are, because that's dangerous.
It's actually the safest thing for white people to do is vote as a group. A big white identity block would get rid of all of your problems. There'd be a wall. All the immigrants wouldn't be coming in.
Yeah.
What's a homogeny?
All white people.
My battle is.
So let me just ask, are you saying, just for me to know, I'm black and slow. What?
Yeah.
Oh, how come you just standing there? Why you just standing there? Oh, okay.
It's hot in here, man.
So are you saying that about him because he believes what he believes?
White people in a group are strong and they make their best decisions for those people. Why not make so homogenous country where it's all white?
Why can't he do it
Yeah,
here?
let me just leave my own nation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, it is going to happen. So, and I have faith it will happen.
So we know in the last election we lost the popular vote by 3 million. Trump lost, but barely got it by the Electoral College. Since that election, we've imported millions more people, and millions have come in illegally, and now they're being able to vote. So essentially what that means is that even if Trump wins this next one, after that, the Republican or the conservative wings, i.e. the majority of white people, will
Hate to
never
lose.
win an election ever again. And the leftists will move further and further and further left. And history shows that when they get the power, they commit genocides. Tens of millions of people get imprisoned and murdered. What do you guys all think white people are going to do when we're completely disenfranchised? Nobody cares about our voice. And we represent tens of millions of men who didn't get married because it's too expensive, because we're paying for immigrants to have lots of kids. We all have guns, we all trained, and now we're all angry. Tens of millions that can never win another election, and the only option to have the world hear our voice is terrible violence. How do we circumvent that?
We don't. We use
What do you
the
say?
violence.
Let Will respond first, then you. Yes.
I agree with you. We are subsidizing people coming here illegally, for sure. But what I don't agree with you with is that you have African American men who have to pay those taxes. You have legal Hispanics who came into this country who have to pay the taxes.
You can just say coloreds and it gets them all.
Yeah, but they get the votes, and people pander and listen to them, and
Yeah,
they're
so
the most important people in the voting bloc. Unless you're gay. Then you're important again if you're a white guy. You can be gay, and then all of a sudden everybody cares what you have to say. But if you're a straight white man, conservative,
Every vote still only counts for one. So as
but they're
long as
bringing in people
are
and diluting the vote, and we'll
which
never
is-
have a
which
chance
is-
to win
I
again.
agree, that's terrible.
Like
What
who-
I'm saying,
where's the law?
It doesn't have to do with the white issue. It's just an American.
Who founded this country? Did black people found this country? Did Mexicans found this country? What is going on? I feel like I'm like
This is- hold on, hold on,
surrounded
hold on.
by just so much.
By
ignorance.
majority, he's
This is what I get what you're saying, but why does there have to be a white thing? Why can't we come together
does
as
there have to be a
Americans?
black thing?
Because listen, nobody's saying no. Listen to me. Hear me out. I think rational people do understand what's going on to white people in America. People like myself care
You're a
too.
minority of a minority.
Listen, people like myself care about everybody. And so if you're having problems and they're disenfranchising white people, people like myself can stand up. Why can't Americans in general come together?
I said you could be in my party. You just can't
Not
lead
your
it.
party.
You can't
I'll
lead it.
probably have to knock you out of your own party. But anyway, what I'm saying is that we can come together. I don't understand why you don't think that black people are starting to wake up and realize that, look, we've been tricked and we've been voting Democrat too long. Americans need to come together and work.
Let's go
and work.
back and forth.
It's too late, man.
Republican this
I'm just
decade.
saying that.
10 million
Democrat
more
that
Mexicans, and
decade.
your vote doesn't count either.
Stupid.
And it never.
I hear what you're saying, but isn't most people in this room for border security? Yes. It's not just a white thing. It's all of us.
Yeah, we'll all sink together.
Only white people vote Republican.
Okay. What do you want to do? What you want to do?
It's not what I want to
You act like you want. You act like you just. This white people are in this. We all Americans. We want our country to be safe. We want our country to grow.
I want to stop it.
Not
I'm
you,
observing-
but for the most of us.
I'm observing the Titanic sinking, and we're all sitting here talking about
If
polishing
you got
up
here
on the
since
deck.
2000, you're not an
If
American.
you, if you think,
got here since
if you think you're gonna do it
1965,
alone,
you're
then
not
good
an
luck,
American.
buddy.
Sorry.
You think we should work together to make it happen.
All right, let's do it. Go ahead, Joel. The young lady right there.
Okay, so 2 points
Oh,
mostly.
yeah, we'll give the mic to
Sorry.
them.
Hey, don't be yelling at her.
Thanks, Steve. 2 points mostly for you. If men wearing MAGA hats were as dangerous as you say they are, people like Jesse Smollett wouldn't have to pay people to beat him up and make up hoax, fake hate crimes. And two, for you and the gentleman who asked the first question, if you guys are with the idea or think that we should ban all guns because some men make bad decisions with them, are you guys willing to castrate yourselves because some men rape? So should we cut off all men's penises because some men rape?
Good policy idea.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's a question for you.
I want to keep
No,
mine.
I'm serious.
If
It's
you're
a question.
man and your gun is important to you, is this important to you? Is your penis? I don't know what to tell you. I can live without a gun.
No,
That's fine. No.
that's not
we
the
can
question.
we can live without guns. Plenty of countries do it.
can
Plenty
live
of them
without
are
rape.
fine. The governments don't take them over. It's okay. Everybody gets along just fine. I don't think you have to castrate an entire society to make people not rape each other.
The problem with taking away guns is that you can't take them from everybody. The criminals are going to keep their guns.
You don't have to take them, but you yourself admitted that there are some cases where maybe we could go a little bit farther, which I agree with.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right, so we started off talking about gun violence and the question of the Second Amendment. I want to know, Scruffy Hitler, do you agree? Do you agree that
He's better than Trump.
the Second Amendment isn't about us
He would have
having?
built the wall. Sorry. Go ahead.
Do you agree that it's important to acknowledge that the Second Amendment isn't about us having firearms in our homes to protect from home invasion or to protect from
Oh,
general
but the
neighborhood
government?
violence.
Yeah.
It's intended so that all of the grown men in our country can rise up and stop the government from
Right.
doing corrupt shit.
Yeah, if it was up to
So-
me, if it was up to me, all the men in this, white men in this country who are on my side, we'd get all of our guns, we'd get our horses, we'd ride into DC, and we'd start having trials.
Horses?
We'd have trials. Depending on how much you're involved in white replacement, you either get the gallows or you get the death, or you go to jail. It doesn't matter. I would straight up I would lead a movement of white men into DC and purge that place. No problem. I swear to that. I
All right,
swear
so,
to that. I
can I give a
swear to
response
that.
to that? So my response is, I understand why you would want to do that. The problem with it is I think that it's suicidal.
It might be, but I'm willing to die for my
Yeah, I
fucking
think that's
people.
stupid. So don't
So
do that.
what?
Yeah.
Martyrs make the best movements, dude. So I don't
Yeah,
care.
They forget about you.
Yeah, if it's a movement,
After they smoke you at the front
Big
gate, they'll
deal. We
forget
all
about
got to
you.
die for something. I'm not going to die for a Jew.
You down
Like
for
a
something? You
Republican.
down for something stupid?
Yeah,
you down for just white people? That's stupid.
Look, I understand where you're coming
Okay,
from, but
so
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
So is dying for
Hold
Israel,
on,
is that
Trevor,
stupid?
Trevor.
Somebody dies
Hold on.
for Israel.
Yeah,
That's
please.
ridiculous.
Hold on, guys.
Please. Get out of here, you fucking
That's so
wanker.
ridiculous.
I don't know what the answer is, but I think what the problem is that we need to figure out the solution to.
I've already
is-
got the solutions, man.
I know that's.
It's
I
all-
think
it's all
well,
it takes.
All right, I hear yours,
And
but
if
I
you're
think
not
it's
with
wrong.
me, you're against
Hold
me. I
on,
don't
buddy.
really care.
Hold on, man. Hold on.
I'm in the heart of LA. I expect to be
Hold on,
surrounded
boy.
by enemies, so I'm not really.
Yeah, you got to win us over first,
I'm
and
not
I'm
trying to-
already on your side. But the problem is, it's our ancestors, our fathers, and their fathers.
Do you think the people in the Civil War? Do you think they would have just? Well, ask the question.
Let him
I'm saying,
ask- yeah,
there's
let him
so
ask
much
the question.
preamble. It's just.
You're wasting time. Let him ask the question.
Look, I made the analogy earlier. You don't fix an airplane when it's in the air. You got to fix it when it's on the ground or before it takes off. But right now, we're in the air. We all work together. And like he's talking about, we're all one thing, whether we freaking like it or not. We're stuck with that situation. So we got to figure it out. I think, and I don't know how to do this, we got to unfit everybody. Basically, that's the issue. We've all been turned into a bunch of retarded f***ts. And that's what has happened for whatever reason,
So
and we
what's
can
the
get into the specifics.
So what's the question though? But how? Like, what is the?
How do we do that, I think, is the actual question to figure out. How do we...
It starts at home. That's where it starts at home. At home. Starts at home. Yeah. We got to bring back the alpha male. That's what it is.
Yeah. I just don't trust Republicans and Democrats.
Okay.
ever.
Yeah, I know. I want to face the crowd. Hey, look. I like to face the people.
Camera here.
Look this way.
You got it, man. Spit it out. You got it.
All right, hold
Take your
on.
time. We got all day.
Okay, first of all, I'm 82 years old. All my life, I had a fight. I grew up on New York's Lower East Side. I had my ass kicked many times, but then again, I kicked other asses. And several times in my life, I had to fight back with a gun. How many people here ever faced life and death attack? There's one, there's good. That happened to me, I can mention 3 occasions right now. When I was in the Army, I had my own private handgun, which I kept in the arms room. And I also had, illegally, I had a snub nose, which I hid in the barracks. One day I took my handgun out of the arms room and I went out target shooting. Well, my target place happened to be a rock quarry. Just as I got to the rock quarry, a car pulled up. Now, by the way, this was in the 60s when we had all these racial problems. Car pulled up. These 4 black guys came out and they chased me. And I managed to get all the way up to the top of this ridge, the top of the hill. And there was over 100-foot drop. But as I was running up, I was taking my gun and I loaded it real fast, turned around. It was only seconds before the guy would have got me and pushed me off that cliff. But when they saw the gun, they fell over backwards trying to get away from me, and they did. A month and a half later, I was going to, by the way, this happened it happened in Proving Grounds in Maryland. About a month and a half later, I was going to Washington, D.C. at night, and that's dangerous. So I put the handgun, my snub nose in my back pocket, and I went, and I was heading for the YMCA. Now, to go there, you have to go past the White House.
When I came to the corner of where the White House is, remember now, this is at night, there was a gang, I would estimate, they're black, I would estimate roughly about 8.
It's always black.
And now they cut me off. I couldn't get to the guard shack at the White House. I had to run into a park across the way, which is very dangerous because now I'm in a darkened park. What I did, I took the gun out and I went into an exaggerated FBI, you know, that position. They couldn't see the gun, but they saw my position. And they stopped. When they did, I looked to the side and I saw at the Press International building, there was a security guard. So I ran in that building, put the gun in my pocket, of course. And the security guard, we talked for about an hour or so, and then it was gone, and I left. The next day, I stopped.
Let me do this. The point you're making is what? Because of time.
I have a point coming at the end of this.
But you sound like him.
Yeah. Anyway,
fast forward.
Anyway, what happened is I went to the NRA headquarters when they were there, and I told them what happened, but I didn't tell them I had a gun. I said, too bad I didn't have a gun. You know what they told me? If you have just an empty brass shell, you could go to jail in this town. Now, a couple of years later, I'm at home. It's a tiny room.
This is what happened to us.
Yeah, it's a tiny room.
These old men are full of themselves and just tell stories about themselves the whole time.
Now, you have respect
for me. He's giving a valid story.
Let me talk. I got a punchline.
No, but we get it. Guns save lives. We get it.
Anyway,
have some
the next
respect,
one,
man.
I
Let
think
the
is
man
the best
speak.
one.
And he didn't have any respect for me.
Let
when
him
he was
The next
sitting there
one is the
cussing at me.
best one. The next one is the best one. I had a guys climb over my window. That's some guys breaking them. Okay, forget that one. Okay, what do I think of all my experiences? And by the way, I had a script writer who wanted to write my story because of all the adventures I had. Okay, what do I think? I think everybody should have a gun.
Right.
Everybody. There's another thing. What? Here's one more thing.
Freaking Einstein.
You got it. Yeah. What do you care if a crook has a gun? Do you have a gun?
That's right.
Real fast. Back in those days, was it harder for black people to get a gun?
No.
Was it?
No. No.
All right.
Hey, that's why
Thanks to the
when
NRA.
California started to
Thanks
roll
to the
back
NRA.
guns is when the Black Panthers
We
started to
didn't
roll
have
out with them.
problems
Yeah,
with guns in Alabama.
It wasn't harder for black people.
When I popped out of my mama's womb, there was a gun.
I was just asking.
Okay. Wow. Let's see. Okay, Jesse. I know we're limited
Make it
in
real
time.
fast, yeah.
I know it's always that way with me, but
You black and slow.
you know, because you don't have. I notice you don't have any baby boomers up there, so I'm going to represent the baby boomers.
Who's a baby boomer?
A baby boomer is people my age and probably your age.
Are you related to Bill Clinton?
No, not at all. But the older guys, you know, the people that have been around for a little while.
So what's your point?
That's missing. The whole thing I wanted to say was I'm going to get to the question, but if you'll bear with me, I just want to give you a quote. And this is interesting because this man was a slave. He escaped slavery. And this man was also one of the greatest men, friends with Abraham Lincoln. You know,
Douglas.
Frederick Douglass. Yeah, everybody knows. So he said
Yeah,
this.
first of all, Abraham Lincoln was the worst person
Okay,
ever.
I got that. So he says this. He says, I just want you guys to respond to something about this. He said, there is no Negro problem. He said, the problem is whether the American people have the loyalty enough, honor enough, patriotism enough to live up to their own Constitution. So everyone in this room is really interesting. We have a lot of talking and all about race. It's all been focused on race, but not much talk about the Constitution, not about the founding principles, except for the officer. I respect this gentleman because he knows about the Constitution. I know he understands and respects it. Probably had to give an oath to uphold it.
I did.
Okay, so the millennials know very little about the Constitution. We haven't taught them. We haven't left them that liberty and that understanding. And I regret that. But now that I'm here, I will be making an effort to do that, and every time I get a chance. So what I want to know from you, each of you, if you can, shortly, is to give your quick explanation of why we should or why we should not honor the Constitution. Why shouldn't we, or why should we?
Thank you.
Be really quick.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I talked about when I said like values in the beginning when I was talking. That's like what I meant. You get your American values a lot from the Constitution. The founding fathers knew that you don't get your morals from the government. That you knew that you don't get your rights from the government. You get your rights and morals from God. And so when they made the Constitution, they realized this. And so that's why it's so important. That's why we should adhere to it.
Yes, sir.
Did God come to him in the middle of the night and tell him what the Constitution is?
What's your political party? Like, what side do you align with?
I'm with the white party. That's my party.
That's not a party.
Yes, it is. It's a non-official political party. It absolutely is. Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
The white party is this.
You started?
The white party. Yeah, of course I did.
Oh.
That's why.
Here's the thing. The white party, our whole thing is white America first. All we want to do is promote, produce, and preserve white America. That's it.
Okay.
Well, along with the destruction of the family has been taking God out of the public square. I think that's one of our biggest problems, that religion has been demonized. Christians are being demonized around the world, killed. And I think we need it desperately. But the other point I wanted to make was that under the Obama administration, the DHS listed people, Tea Party people, returning veterans, lots of patriot groups as domestic terrorists. That's what I fear with the red flag laws.
Yeah, me too. I gotta have this young lady say something. And nobody else. Look at the shirt. Amazing.
Thank you for having this. I just want to say to the gentleman over there that said give all guns to women, absolutely not. I had 2 friends killed at night by their psychotic girlfriends for showing up late. So.
See, I told y'all. You should have let me talk to them first.
The shirt. Don't you love this shirt?
Amazing.
It's amazing.
It's actually my husband's shirt, but he's out of town, so I took it. So, yeah, but thank you.
All right, thank you so much. You have to get one of these next time. Oh, you're married. Oh, you're married up. Many white babies. Many white babies. Oh, okay. Joel, you have anybody right here? Okay, then here, there, and all that good stuff.
Hi, this question is for the gentlemen that have been streaming or somehow been on the internet that have gotten somehow censored or banned or shadow banned. There's a lot of things.
The first one or the second one?
Well, whoever wants to answer.
Okay.
I don't know how many guys have
I've
been
just
affected
straight up
by this.
censored. I don't even get shit.
All right. Yeah, probably not you there, Mr. KKK. I'm developing a TV show that highlights the importance of
Good
man.
one, by the way.
Can I finish? Excuse me, may I finish?
No, you may not. No.
Are you running this now?
No, finish. I'm just joking.
He thinks he's a Democrat.
The first thing you wanted to do is hit me with the KKK shit. So
What I
let's start
wanted
right
to
back.
say is that I'm developing a TV show about the importance of a man in a child's life. A lot of the issues that we've been discussing here tonight, almost all of them, relate squarely back to that. 26 out of the last 27 biggest mass shootings that we've had, those boys have not had a father or positive role model at home. Now, I'm an actor and screenwriter, and I know I'm in the belly of the beast, so I know damn well that mainstream media, meaning the studios, meaning the networks, are never ever going to produce a show like this. It's not a controversial show. We used to have shows like this back in the 70s and as far as the 80s and before that. But those shows will never happen again. A male being shown as anything positive on TV is not going to happen anytime soon. That's why I have a lot of support, just getting started with this. We're probably going to have to stream it because I doubt that any network or streaming service like Netflix or whatever is going to ever run this. It's all basically run by women and liberals. What do you think the chances are of a show like this at least seeing a few episodes? It's a 30-minute scripted show.
All right, we got to move real fast, but only
We got the internet where anything is possible that you post. I mean, you can go create your own website.
Yeah,
and stream
YouTube
there,
it.
Like, just put the links up, and anyone can see it. Really.
Okay.
I mean,
They don't go after the domains right now.
It sounds a little controversial. It doesn't sound that controversial, to be honest. But but things get worse and progressively. So who knows? I don't know.
So I want you guys to meet
Trust
someone.
me, you'll be fine, dude. If you just don't bring up the Jews, you'll be fine.
I want you to meet someone. This is Williams. He's running for mayor of Pasadena. And so I just wanted to... So what do you think about all this?
I think this is great. I'm always open for dialogue. I'm kind of like aligned with Brandon when it comes to just having a foundation of loving people. I think if we start with the foundation of loving people, we actually have a great place to start from to be able to build and cultivate ideals and find resolutions for some of the tough issues that we have here in the city. And Brandon, if you can, my question would be to you is, because you have a lot of people following you, looking up to you, and me being attacked a lot now, and most recently my family being attacked by a lot of people online, what would you say one of the defining things that you tell people in general conversation on why you support Trump and why you continue to support Trump where we are right now? Because I do still.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing is it's rooted in facts. I don't care about all the other shenanigans that people talk about. The man is not my pastor. He ain't my father. I don't need him. He don't live with me. I don't care about none of that stuff. I want him to get the things done that he said he was going to get done in this country. I love the fact that he's a nationalist. I love the fact that he promotes America first. I love the fact that he's going to attack illegal immigration. I mean, the guy is pro-police, pro-American, pro-military. He's building the economy like nothing before, and he's addressing issues from every platform. And I think that I believe in the facts and what he's doing and not necessarily fall in emotionalism. But I'll tell people like this, man. Make sure you stand on what you believe. If you support the man, if you support the president and the mission that he's going through, push it to the end. If you don't support him, then don't.
Do you support when he said more legal immigrants than ever? Do you support him when he said that in a State of the Union?
You said, do I support him in general? Yes, I do. I don't agree with some things that he do. That's the difference between you and I. I may not agree with you, but I still love you as a person. I don't want to exile all white people, all white nationalists. I love you as a person, and we should be able to find common ground and agree.
I don't think we need to do the love stuff.
Okay, guys. That's just you. That's you, bro. That's you. You can.
Yeah, all I want to say is thank you, Mr. Peterson. This is a great forum, man, and I appreciate you doing this. Shout out James Haig. I see you silently grinding over there.
Hate report.
Silently grinding. And then I'm just still confused from the beginning of incel. He never said what does it mean you don't have sexual parts, or you just what does that mean?
Incel means involuntarily celibate, and to elaborate on that, it could be, they might live in a bad sexual market where they live. They might have
Why don't you get laid?
Dude, it's called prostitutes. If you really want.
Or are you just using it as an excuse and you got different girls every night? Like you're like, oh, I can't.
That's how you reel them in.
The reason why I personally don't. Also, I'm interested in a real relationship. I want a.
Okay.
I want to get married. I want to find a.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
It's a good start.
That's it. He had the same question for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So we got to widen it right here, and that's it. Oh, right there? Okay. 3 more, and that's it.
It's hot. Burning up.
Sorry. I just wanted to say I agree with that gentleman over there who said something about the SSRIs. I think that is a major point. Yes, the family. It's antidepressants. It's what does it stand for?
Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor.
Thank you. The family's falling apart. The father is very often not in the home enough. Then you add the young men not feeling like they have any purpose in life. Add drugs to that. You are screwed. This is what's happening. And the other thing I wanted to point out really quickly is there's a success story with arming the population in Switzerland.
You're going to blame video games.
Switzerland has done it.
So don't do that.
They all have access to the armories. They all are trained. They all are in the military. And it's been a neutral country for how long? Anybody know the facts on that? For decades. For decades.
All right. Thank you.
So Switzerland is a success story.
All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, why don't you ever see white people go into brown countries too? That's a whole nother thing.
Right here.
I just want to say, I don't, at the end of the day, have a problem with Travis. I have a bigger problem with my man right to the opposite side of Brandon.
Destiny?
Yeah, and just as and I'm mixed. My dad is black and my mom is white. And just for the black community, I think we just in general raising a lot of punks these days. I think that just men in general need to have higher standards, especially in the black community. We have very low standards about education, just becoming rappers or athletes, and we project a lot of that blame onto white people. And the reason I brought you up is because I feel like the Democrats just kind of they're the problem with a lot of that blame, and just they perpetuate a lot of that, and that's why I don't have a problem with you. I was raised to be responsible for myself and my own actions, you know what I mean, and that's why like we just need positive leaders like Brandon. That's why I came here today for the black community. If we had more people like that, we'll be all right.
I'm here for the white community. I hope that's okay.
That's what I'm saying. I don't have a
hope that's
problem
fine.
with it because you don't affect me or what I do with my life. You know what I'm saying? And if we had more people that were just responsible, especially in the black community, we'll be all right.
So listen, nobody else raise your hand, all right? Nobody. Two other people. Joy, I'll go to Mark, and then I'm going here, and nobody else raise your hand. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, this question is for everybody except Travis. Do you guys notice that people, no matter who they are, Black Lives Matter, La Raza, or like Travis, people that are obsessed with race are all losers?
Yes.
They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not
know what I
doing
mean? They're
anything
not
at
up to-
all.
Shut up. They're not up to anything. They're not winning any medals. They're not getting married, having families.
Oh, I'm
They're
not
not starting
dying in Israel
businesses.
for
They're not
Jews.
doing anything. Destiny's got a big following. He's always doing stuff. Will's got a big following, always doing stuff. And the people that are always obsessed with race, they're just all losers. Do you guys notice that?
Amen. Yeah.
I agree.
Hey.
I agree.
Hey, what happens to the First and Second Amendment when there's no white America?
Okay.
Whatever.
This is for Destiny. A couple episodes ago on the Fallen State, you debated Vince with the Red Elephants on guns, right? Then you had a follow-up debate with him one-on-one. Then you had a third debate with John Lott. I thought you were going to come back with your response. Have you yet?
Not yet. I've been doing
When are you going
a lot
to?
of stuff. I don't know. Hopefully sometime within the next month or two.
In the next month? Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
No.
I think he came here just for you.
Let me just say thank you all so much for coming, and then I really appreciate it.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.
Alpha male.